who's bullshit.
Step right up, got tickets on sale. In today's episode, trains coming off the rails. Watch it all burn from the screen on your phone. But don't you worry about it, you're safe at home. Every talking head will tell you everything's fine. It's the blind leading the blind. Yeah, it's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that it's the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong. If the world's still spinning, the shit show goes on. Well, the world's strongest man just dropped the ball, and the tent's caving in from the weight of it all. Yeah, the lion's out the cage, puppets in a rage, and the ringleader's on parade. It's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that it's the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong. If the world's still spinning, the shit show goes on.
Come on! Witness the greatest show on earth! Restore the flame!
It's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that it's the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong. If the world's still spinning, the shit show goes on.
Oh shit. Call me new. Just give me a minute here. Okay, I'm ready. Swear to God, I knew what I was doing. All right. Hey, everybody. I missed y'all. A lot, actually. This, you never think that you're going to get so close to the people that you never actually lay eyes on or never actually lay hands on. But, man, you guys are a big part of my life. I'm sure my real life people believe that it's more than it should be, but fuck them. They don't get to choose. So, anyways, let's just say that thank God for my family, because that's the good part about going camping on the coast when it's raining. It's not a good rain. It's not a fun rain. It's just a fucking downpour. And I mean it as a fucking downpour, not a downpour. It's a nightmare. It rained from the time we got there until a day and a half before we left. And I mean, it rained. Not just, it was a downpour. Like, it sucked. But anyways, I got to hang out with my family, and they did get to do a little bit of riding. I got to tell you, I could care less about riding. I've done told my son that's not my forte. I'll go hiking all day long. Even if the rain, if you make me, but I have no desire to ride those things. It scares the shit out of me, to tell you the honest to God truth. They go up fucking hills that are straight up and down, and I mean straight up and down. And they just fucking gun it, and they shoot over the top of it. Because let me tell you what, you think sand is gonna be like this. Well, not all sand hills are like that. A lot of them are like this. And so when you shoot up that hill, you have nothing else to do but fucking shoot up and then land. Oh, it scares the shit out of me, I'm telling you what. So yeah, I have no desire, and I really wish that they wouldn't take my grandkids out on it. However, both of them love it, so that's a problem. But I try not to think about it while they're out there. Let's just say that. My grandson, who, as y'all know, is he'll be 3 in July, the end of July. This kid, I I'll try to find some videos here to show you guys, but he does not stop driving through mud puddles all day long. Like, he woke up this morning. It's sunshine in here. It's 76 degrees, I think. And it was sunny yesterday. He woke up this morning and looked at his mommy and said, "Put my coat on and go outside and play in the rain." He was ready to go. He loves the puddles. That's his favorite thing. So, yeah. Super fun. Y'all can see my gray hair because I was camping and didn't care. We'll get that taken care of this week. Trust me. But, meanwhile, you get to see me all haggard and woohoo. Rooster wins the booby prize. Just so y'all know, he did it. He's been wanting that boob for a very long time, and he got her. He got her. And he said, still waiting to see 20,000 a day being deported. I kind of agree with you there, Rooster. Trump is deporting criminals that don't work anyways. Americans need jobs. And again, I agree with you 100%, Rooster. Trump, we have not forgotten, just so you know. And we're paying attention. So, yeah. Rooster wins the booby prize. He can play with it. He can add to it by imagining another one. He can do whatever he wants with his boob. It's his boob. And if he's really good, next week he'll come and he'll get another one so he can have a pair of boobs. Because, two's better than one, right? Yeah. Ladies and please, what's up? American traders sold us out a long time ago. America is owned and paid for. Game over. You lose. The tree of liberty is dead. I am gonna not disagree with you there either. We got a lot of explaining to do. We got a lot of cleaning up to do. But we'll see how it all pans out in the wash. We got 4 years to get this shit together and figure out who's going to continue on to clean this shit up. So we better be figuring it out. I know, 421 and my comments still hang. All right. You're so surprised? Oh, I wouldn't delete your fucking comment. Unless you say something like really outlandish. I ain't. You should know me by now. What the fuck? Are you new? Mishka. What's up, darling? How are you? And buddy, I did it. As soon as I see your roll intro, I'm like, shit, push it. Hit the button. Flatty said. I hope you're doing good, sweetheart. I know things are a little funky there for you, and I know there's probably a lot you can't say, which is kind of frustrating because I kind of want to know, but I feel like we haven't seen you as much, and I feel like censoring has a lot to do with it or something. I don't know. Or maybe you just got a lot, maybe you just have a life outside of us. Just kidding. I want you to have a life outside of us. Sun Honey, how are you, darling? She's lurking. And Miss Kai, well, what's up? Good afternoon, everyone. It's a lovely, sunny, brisk autumn. I don't like fall. I mean, I like it better than winter, but I don't like fall. I like summer, but I don't want it to be 105 either. I mean brisk. Damn tilted. I know. I know what you meant. See, I fixed it. I fixed it for you. Um, Art, what's up? You don't camp. If it doesn't come with a room service and a minibar, I'm out. Oh fuck, you're as bad as TF. Art. That's the way fools is. Oh no, I have to be pampered. I'm a princess. There's no better breakfast than one when you're camping. I'm telling you. There's no taste like it. It's good shit. Make you fat too. I'd show you, but I don't want to. I swear I gained fucking 10 pounds. Not really. If I did, man, I'm out. But sometimes I feel that way. Holy shit. We ate a lot of food. We've had maybe 2 days of rain in the last 6 weeks. My solar panels need a good wash to charge up my batteries properly. Oh. Well, I guess you're hiking up on the roof, huh, honey? Giving those solar panels a good bath. Who else am I missing? What's down? What's up? How are ya? Right, oh, Debbie. Hi, Debbie. What's up? Lurking and knitting, Son Honey said. If JD Vance is dumb enough to think Signal is a good place to discuss government operations, he's out too, at least in my mind. I didn't hear that, Art. I'm so far behind. I'm telling you, honey, you're going to have to clue me in on all of it because I've kind of been, AWOL. Callie, what's up, darling? Big titty nation, I wish. I wish it was a big titty nation. Not really, because, even what I got seems to want to get in the way. You have a headache, so you're lurking? Oh, honey, I hope you get over that. I hate headaches. Especially if they don't go away and they get to the point of migraine. Ugh, I hate it. Fat is beautiful. Show us your meat. Well, this is like you're going to see for now. No, I probably did put on a couple pounds, though. The problem is you couldn't go out. I was not going hiking. It would have been one. I can hike in the rain, but I am not hiking in a downpour. I just fucking refuse. It takes the fun right out of it. Really, the rain even takes the fun out of it. But I will do it as long as I can stay dry. If I've got rain gear on and I'm warm, fuck yeah, I'll hike for a long time in the rain. But it wasn't rain. This shit was a downpour. Everything that hit the ground came back up like 3 or 4 times. That shit was bouncing. That's how hard it was coming down. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure there's a few that know about the Oregon coast, but oh fuck. When it really dumped. And the beach was so scattered with debris and not just trees and limbs and shit like that, but garbage and everything you can imagine. I couldn't believe it. In fact, they said they've been going for years, that whole crew. There's like 50 people. And they said that they've never seen it like that in all the years they've been going. It was nasty. I spent my youth doing the whole camping thing. Now that I can afford room service and the mini bar, I've got no reason to go camping. No, I don't do it because I can't afford I just do it because I love it. Plus, I like no people. I don't want nobody touching my fucking food. Let's start there. I see what people do with their hands. No. I just soon. I've seen way too many people not even wash their hands. And then touch your food. Just gross. She back. Bears didn't eat her. Nope. LW, bear didn't eat me. Mm-mm. Huh. Oh. Thought you was mad at me, Gigi. Why would I be mad at you, Western? I have no desire to be mad at you. What would I have been mad at you for? You would know. It wouldn't be like, oh, I think she's mad at you. You'd be like, fuck, she's pissed. You'd know. Don't I make that pretty clear? I don't think I'm very gray. Well, I am here. But, no, I mean, you know what I mean. It's blazing hot in California. These dogs wants to go outside and cook themselves. Oof. Girl, please. I hike in the rain, snow, sleet, but not the cold. Laugh out loud. I'm okay with rain. I'm not okay with downpours. When that shit it's this thick on, you're walking literally in this much water, and as it hits the ground, it's fucking bouncing back up. And if you don't have elastic around your pants, it will literally get your pants wet because it just bounces straight back up into them. Oh, it's awful. I fucking hate it. No, thank you. But I don't mind going out and hiking if it's just raining. But this was incredible. It did finally slow up and we were able to get out a little bit. And then it stopped and we did do some hiking, but not more walking than hiking. Let's just say that. It wasn't any better on the Washington coast. I found a couple new window leaks. Fixing them is getting old. Yeah. Well, do we want to talk about my slides yet? I've only got 10 people in here. I hope more people trickle in. This is amazing. We're 17 minutes in. It's got to be because I fucked it all up by not doing shows last week. But I tried to post a bunch beforehand in the shorts. But hopefully people will trickle in here and then I'll play it's only 22 minutes. But my slides wouldn't go out on my RV. I kind of wanted to. It was so fucking frustrating. I can't even tell you. We think it's a breaker, a circuit breaker, a waterproof circuit breaker underneath the RV. There's like 5 of them. First of all, who knew that RVs have circuit breakers that are, Marv has them wrote down, but I believe off of memory, there's an 80 watt circuit breaker. There's a 110, there's 120, and there's 150 circuit breakers. And they're under. Why the fuck would you put them under the RV where every day it's getting wet and whatever? I mean, come on. It's under the RV where all the, it's literally all the road grime, all that shit is coming at it. What the fuck would possess them to put it there? I have no idea, but they did. And I gotta say, I mean, it's 19-year-old rig and they've held on this long. And that might not even be the problem. I'm worried that what might have been the problem was my dumb ass putting slide locks in the slides because they kept creeping out, which scared the shit out of me. Can you imagine going down the road and all of a sudden your fucking slide falls out? That would suck. I mean, because I'm sure if you're going at that momentum, it'd just fall right out. So they have these slide locks and they talk about them in the manual and you should put them in and then if you're concerned about it. So we put them in. I put them in. Well, I realized to begin with, I put them in at just the top over the slide outs. Then I realized, well, it's creeping out at the bottom. So I put one at the bottom on the front and one at the top on the front, but I didn't put any at the back of it. So it creeped out at the back of the slide. So now the other one don't seem to creep out at all, the bedroom one, but the living room slide definitely creeps out. So here's what I think I might have done. I might have gotten it off kilter, and if you do that, the slides will be like, fuck, you are not working. So I'm wondering if that's what I did, but I guess we'll find out when I talk with the RV tech again. He did say it could be the breaker. Oh, here's the other kicker on that. Oh yeah, these breakers, they don't make them anymore. At least that company don't. So you have to find a company that does. Well, and they may make the right breaker, but they may make the breaker that size. But if it doesn't meet up with the holes, then you're fucked. Sean's like, oh, we'll just drill into there. You're not engineering my rig. Thank you. Get your little drill out of there. So I don't know. Help. But it will get worked out. Let's just say that. One way or the other. It's such a nice rig. Yeah, I mean, I got to say that even with both slides and not being able to use them, it was okay for as many people as we had in there, and 7 days. So yeah, I love it. It's super fun. Marvin's just like, I fucking hate it. He's not liking it at all. However, this is something else I got to tell everybody. He's going to be laid up for about 6 weeks. And when he gets laid up, I think that we're going to go RVing on the days that I don't have my grandson. And so what I'll do is I'll just make him go get in the rig and I'll do everything. It'll already be loaded up and good to go. And we'll just go. And for 3 or 4 days and come back. And yeah, I think it'll be fun. Plus, we need to take it more because it keeps breaking down or something keeps going wrong with it because we don't take it enough. You can't take it out once a year and go, well, every time we dig it out, something goes waywire with it. Well, no shit. You only take it out once a year. So we're going to start doing that. I think it's time. Okay, I haven't moved this in a while. Sorry. Ours is a 50 amp. I'm learning all that right now, West. Yeah. Yeah, we were level. Maybe we weren't level enough. You did fine, Gigi. It's not your fault they didn't remember. You said you'd be gone after they sobered up the next day. Fuck. But you know what? I drove all the way there and I drove all the way back. And I backed that bitch in every place. Every place we went. When we came home, I backed it in. Yep, I did it all. So I ain't scared. I got this. Actually, I'm scared shitless. Let me tell you what. She's a beast. The problem is I got a lead fucking foot. And to stop her, that ain't easy. Let me tell you what. It's a lot of weight. It's a truck. And so I had to hit the exhaust brake yesterday to get me stopped soon enough at a light. Well, they put the light in the middle of fucking nowhere. I'm like, are you serious? How about a warning? Marvin said, oh, the stores on both sides of the road weren't a warning. And that, the lights hanging over wasn't a big warning. You should have known that there was lights coming up. I'm like, no, I was pissed. Anyways, yeah, it was fun. But I got to figure it out. This is usually the breaker. Yeah, who knows? We're gonna find out. If you get the slides crooked, it may jam and then blow the breaker because of the load. Oh, good point. Okay, here's the deal. The day that John left, which was, mm, I'll tell you what day it was. So we'd been there since Monday. John left on Thursday. On Thursday, when he left, Marvin goes into the bathroom and he comes out. And I don't know, but for some reason, we'd already decided that we weren't going to pull the slides out and that they were fucked and we were going to have to get somebody to work on them. So we were just going to leave them in because we had ordered the part and it's not going to be here until I think tomorrow or today or something. I don't know. Anyways, Marvin walks out of the bathroom and he shuts the door. And right behind the door is the control panel to everything. And he clicks the freaking out button and the bedroom slides start going out. So that was kind of weird. And so I said, stop, because, there's shit everywhere. I mean, you never pull the slides out till you know where everything's at and what you're doing. So I stop him and he's like, I can't believe it worked. And I'm like, yeah, let me clean everything up before if you're going to do that. And he's like, nah, I'm too afraid to. Let's put them back in. I said, well, let me move everything. So I moved everything and we put it back in, but it makes me wonder. Somebody said the seat had to be forward enough. We've never had an issue with that. We've never pulled the seat forward and the slides worked. So I don't know. I mean, she's a temperamental bitch, let me tell you. But we'll get it worked out. I'm certain. So I still only got 10 people here. So I guess we're just going to go on and play it. And if people show up, yippee, fucking skippy. And if they don't, well, they snooze, they lose. I'm sure it's my own fault. I'm out of the algorithm. All right, here we go. Will it go green screen on me? No? Okay. Let's watch it. Let's take me off and turn my cam off. Okay.
Hello. Another big win for Louisiana. A great speaker. Nice to see you. Mr. President. Nice to see you. Hello, everybody. Okay, we have a beautiful announcement to make. It's very exciting. Money is pouring in, and we want to keep it that way. And I think that's what's going to happen. We have tremendous interest in our country, more than ever before. There's never been anything like it. We're almost at a $4 trillion level, and that's something that's never happened. And I think hopefully it's because of the election on November 5th, but it's also because of tariffs, I suspect, Governor. But I'm thrilled to welcome Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry, a friend of mine for a long time, and to have you at the White House. And we thought this was going to happen. And I said, if you get it signed up, we'll do it at the White House. And you got it all done. I'm proud of you. Not surprised. Executive Chairman of Hyundai Motor Group, Jung E-sun. Thank you very much. What a great honor. Vice Chairman Jay Chang. Jay, thank you. Hyundai Steel President Soo Gang Hyun. Thank you very much, President. That's big stuff. And former Ambassador Sung Kim. Thank you very much. Great honor to have all of you. Also, and these names are much less difficult for me, but I think we got them right. But this one we will definitely get right. Mike Johnson, our great speaker, and he's been doing a real job. Right, Mike? It's an easy job, isn't it?
No.
House Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Steve, doing all right, Steve. I'll tell you, he went through a lot, and he's stronger than ever. Louisiana Speaker Philip Duvalier. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Senate President Cameron Henry, State Representative Ken Brass, State Senator Ennie Lambert, and Ascension Parish President Clint Cointment. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Great honor. Great to have you with us. Today, we're delighted to report that Hyundai is announcing a major $5.8 billion investment in American manufacturing. In particular, Hyundai will be building a brand new steel plant in Louisiana, which will produce more than 2.7 million metric tons of steel a year, creating more than 1,400 jobs for American steelworkers. And then there'll be major expansion after that. This will be Hyundai's first ever steel mill in the United States, one of the largest companies in the world, by the way, supplying steel for its auto parts and auto plants in Alabama and Georgia, which will soon produce more than 1 million American-made cars every single year. The cars are coming into this country at levels never seen before. Get ready. This investment is a clear demonstration that tariffs very strongly work, and I hope other things also, but the tariffs are bringing them in at levels that have not been witnessed. Hyundai will be producing steel in America and making its cars in America, and as a result, they'll not have to pay any tariffs. You know, there are no tariffs if you make your product in America, so it's something that's why so many people are coming. As you know, we have from Taiwan, the biggest chip manufacturer in the world, is coming in with $200 billion, and we have a lot of people coming and plants coming and companies coming that never would have been here, never would have even thought about it. The new steel plant in Louisiana is part of an even larger $21 billion investment Hyundai will be making in the United States over the next couple of years. The company will also be massively increasing its auto manufacturing in Georgia and investing billions of dollars in advanced American technology companies. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask the executive chairman to say a few words, and it's a great honor to have Hyundai, a truly great company. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak here today, and thank you for the invitation. And congratulations on the remarkable start to your new term.
It's been good.
All right.
Great.
So Hyundai Motor entered the U.S. 1986. Since then, we have invested over $20 billion and now support more than 570,000 American jobs across all 50 states. Today, I'm pleased to announce an additional $21 billion in a new investment over the next 4 years, our largest U.S. invest ever. A key part of this commitment is our $6 billion investment to strengthen the U.S. supply chain from steel and parts to automobiles. We are especially excited about Hyundai Steel's multi-billion investment in a new facility in Louisiana, which will create 1,300 American jobs and serve as the foundation for a more self-reliant and secure automotive supply chain in the U.S. To mark this milestone, we are honored to visit President Trump alongside Governor Landry and Speaker Johnson and Leader Scalise, deepening our partnership with the United States and reinforcing our shared vision for American industrial leadership. And this week, we are also proud to open our new $8 billion auto plant in Georgia. With this, our U.S. vehicle production will exceed 1 million units per year, as President mentioned. Our decision to invest in Savannah, Georgia, creating more than 8,500 American jobs, was initiated during my meeting with President Trump in Seoul in 2019.
That's right.
Yeah, and after that, 2020 in Davos, I mentioned about the new plant. So American Jobs was initiated during at the time. Now, as we proudly mark the completion of this transformative project in coincides with the beginning of President Trump's second term, making this moment even more special.
Thank you.
Yeah. Furthermore, HMG will purchase $3 billion worth of US LNG to support America's energy industry and enhance our energy security. All of these efforts will accelerate the localization of our supply chain in the US, expand our operations, and grow our American workforce. With your leadership, Mr. President, Hyundai Motor Group is proud to be a stronger partner in America's industrial future. I'd like to personally invite you to visit one of our state-of-art manufacturing facility and see firsthand our commitment to the United States and our American workers.
Right.
So thank you to our American partners and employees and communities. We are really proud to stand with you and proud to be build the future together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I thought maybe we have our great speaker and we have two very good friends, Mike and Steve, and you come from a certain state that we're talking about right now that we love. And I've done very well there. I've always won by a lot. I love that state, so I was happy to hear about it. That's why I said, come on over. But Mike, would you and Steve like to say a few words, please?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. We're excited. It was mentioned earlier, what a great start we've had to your second term, and we're just getting started. Everyone should know that. There'll be more of this because it's the policies that are bringing about the great growth, and it's about leadership. And we have a strong new leader back in the White House, and it makes a big difference because everybody around the world is seeing that, and everyone around the country is applauding it. We were on district work period last week, and Steve Scalise and I and our colleagues were traveling around the country doing campaign events, raising money, doing all the things that are necessary to ensure that we keep the House majority for the Republican Party. And I'll just tell you, I was in multiple states over the last week, and everywhere I went, Mr. President, people are excited. There's this great sense of relief, almost euphoria out there, because they know that America's back. This is the America First agenda. We're so grateful for these great friends with Hyundai to invest in Louisiana. We have extraordinary leadership on the state level, and leadership makes a big difference. We're so grateful to be a part of this. We want to tell you all, this is a great investment in Louisiana and in America. More to come. Thank you so much. Steve?
Well, thank you again, Mr. President, for opening up the White House to this great group. Governor Landry has brought the same kind of energy to the governor's mansion in Louisiana that President Trump has brought to the nation in the White House. Some people marvel at President Trump's stamina. Over the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, we spoke by phone on some different legislative initiatives that we're working on with Speaker Johnson to continue moving the agenda forward. Those very things that President Trump ran on, he's delivering for the American people. And this announcement by Hyundai is one more example of how that agenda that President Trump ran on to make America first again is working for the American people. When you talk about 1,300 plus really good jobs in Louisiana, those are all American workers. That's billions of investment coming in from Hyundai into the United States that would not have been here without President Trump's leadership. And I think people know that, they see it. It's been a long time coming, but we applaud the work that Hyundai is doing with Governor Landry to come to our state. But for President Trump, we're seeing this all across the nation, and we're just getting started. A lot more to come, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any questions, please? Yeah, please.
The size of the investment, partly because of tariffs. On April 2nd, the reciprocal tariffs will go into effect. Is it truly reciprocal? Are there some countries that might get a break or some sectors that might get a break?
Well, I may give a lot of countries breaks, but it's reciprocal, but we might be even nicer than that. We've been very nice to a lot of countries for a long time, but I call it Liberation Day. April 2nd is Liberation Day. But today, as you know, we did something with respect to Venezuela. You heard about that, and that will be quite important. We'll be announcing some additional tariffs over the next few days, having to do with automobiles, cars, and having also to do a little bit with lumber down the road, lumber and chips. We're going to get all those chip companies coming back. They're already coming back without even doing it. So it's been very good. But we'll be announcing some others. But for the most part, April 2nd will be a big day. That'll be Reciprocal Day. And we'll be bringing some of the money back that's been taken from us. Let's be nice by using the word taken. I don't want to use a stronger word because these guys are professional politicians and they don't like to hear those words. I refuse to use the word stolen from us, but that's a.
Countries mutually bring down tariffs. Are you seeing that
Oh,
negotiation?
it happened. Well, the European Union lowered their tariffs to 2.5%. We were only at 2.5% for cars, which is very low. And as you probably heard, that European Union lowered their number from much higher than that, many, many times our surprise to 2.5%. So that was good. But I don't know that I expect that. It's up to them. But we have reciprocal tariffs.
Mr. President, your reaction to the story in The Atlantic that said that some of your top cabinet officials and aides had been discussing very sensitive material through Signal and included an Atlantic reporter for that. What is your response to that?
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
They were using Signal to coordinate on sensitive materials and
Having to do with what? Having to do with what? What were they talking about?
with the Houthis.
The Houthis? You mean the attack on the Houthis? Well, it couldn't have been very effective because the attack was very effective. I can tell you that. I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time. Anybody else?
This announcement on Hyundai, is this a blueprint for you for other automakers to come to the United States to do what Hyundai was doing and investing so much in Louisiana and creating these new jobs?
Absolutely. That's a nice question from you. That's a shocking question. How nice it is, huh? That's okay. That's a question. That's a good question, actually. Yeah, sure. Hyundai is a great company. We have other great companies coming in, and we have some that are going to be staying here and very much expanding. And we have tremendous interest in every business. I can't just say automobiles, but automobiles is a big one. And yeah, this is the beginning of a lot of things happening. We've had, as you know, Apple's announced a $500 billion investment, and other companies have announced 250, 300 billion. But we're well into the $3 and $4 trillion mark, which has never happened to our country before. What it really means is jobs. All we care about is jobs, right? We care about quality and quality of life and safety and security, but we care about jobs. And they're going to have we have a lot of people coming in.
Governor Landry, I would love to ask Governor Landry a question, if you don't mind. How did you convince Hyundai to come to your great state? How did you convince them to come to Louisiana?
It was easy. I told them we were going to have a great president this year, right? Look, I think that this is Americans seeing the America First policy in action, right? It's not just promises, it's about action. And not only and I appreciate their patience because all last year, many of these legislators, the Speaker and the Senate President, we worked on making Louisiana as friendly for business as the president is making America. We worked on public safety. We worked on educational reform, which the president's been working on. We worked on tax reform, historic tax reform. And what I can tell you is to echo what the president said, in Louisiana right now, I believe before the summer's over, we'll have $50 billion worth of construction projects going on in Louisiana. That is a record, Mr. President. It has never happened under any other president, under any other administration. And I can only look at the leadership that he has brought, not only to the White House, but to the world as well. And so to have these executives come here and say, hey, we want to invest in America, because for decades now, what Americans have seen is jobs being offshored rather than onshored. And today's announcement is exactly that. This is a message for all America that this president and their governors out there care about the American worker.
Mr. President, on your Venezuela tariffs, and I have to tell you that if you have any trouble getting permits, which you won't, come see me. I'll get them for you immediately. All right? But you're not going to have any trouble. You know, we had when I first got involved in this world of politics, when I went down to Louisiana, the two big LNG plants, and they were stuck for 14 years. They tried to get permits, and these were 12 billion and I think $15 billion plants. And they were working on it for 14 years in one case, I think 13 or 14 in the other. And I was able to get them in less than a week. And they were shocked. And probably some consultant got a lot of money for doing it, but nobody spoke to me about it other than this gentleman at the time. He mentioned it, and he did. They were in very much different positions, but they wanted to see if we could break the logjam. And I got it done. In one case, I actually got it done in one day. And the other case, I didn't do as well. It took a full week. And they built, and they're up, and they're very successful now. That was a long time ago, but we got it done immediately. You'll have no trouble getting your permits, I guarantee. These people you're dealing with are top of the line. Okay, but just in case, call me.
On the Venezuela tariffs that you announced earlier today, sir,
Yes.
you said it's 25% for any country that does business
That's right.
with Venezuela.
If they buy their oil from Venezuela, they have to pay a 25% tariff to do business with the United States.
Is that on top of existing tariffs? So for example, China. buys a
Yes,
lot of
that
oil.
would be a top of existing.
45%
That would
tariffs
mean,
on China
yep,
next week.
that's on top of existing tariffs, yes.
And so also next week, April 2nd, as you said, Liberation Day. Is that going to be sector tariffs as well as reciprocal tariffs?
It's going to be everything. Yeah, it's going to be everything, but not all tariffs are included that day. For instance, we'll do some, as you know, we have already done steel and aluminum, and that's at a 25% level. And we are going to be doing automobiles, which you've known about for a long time. We'll be announcing that fairly soon, over the next few days probably. And then April 2nd comes, that'll be reciprocal tariffs. But we may take less than what they're charging because they've charged us so much. I don't think they could take it. In other words, they've charged us so much that I'm embarrassed to charge them what they've charged us, but it'll be substantial. And you'll be hearing about that on April 2nd. And it will be Liberation Day because we'll be taking in large amounts of money for our country. And that's lower taxes and all of the things that are good, and jobs, a lot of jobs.
And what's your message to the big corporate clients of the big law firms that you've targeted with your executive orders? Do you want those big corporate clients to find new lawyers?
I just think that the law firms have to behave themselves. And we've proven that. We have others that want to make a settlement also. They, having to do with the election and other things, they behave very badly, very wrongly. And I appreciate the one, these are the biggest firms. And they all came back realizing that they did wrong. And that's why they're doing this. So I just think they have to behave. We have to straighten out our country. We have to straighten out our elections. Our elections are very dishonest, very corrupt, and we have to straighten it out. And it's so easy to do it. And we should go to paper ballots. We should go to one-day voting. We should go to voter ID. And just one other thing, proof of a thing called citizenship in the United States. Wouldn't that be nice? How simple does that sound? Proof of citizenship, voter ID, one-day voting, and paper ballots. Paper ballots are very secure. They have watermark paper. It's very intricate stuff. It's very technologically advanced, even though it's paper. And you'd have no trouble. You wouldn't have dishonest elections, and you'd have them all done by 10 o'clock in the evening. France went to that. And not that I want to copy anybody, but many others have also. And they had 38 million votes, and it was all done at 10 o'clock. They had a winner, they had a loser. That was it. Nobody was complaining. And they had it backed up with paper. And it's so easy to do. The other thing, you'd save about, this would cost you about 8% of what the machines cost. So the paper would be much less expensive. So if you're looking to save some money, that's a good way to save it. So it's a shame that we've gone through it. We've gone through a bad election, really bad election. The election was so bad. And think of it. You wouldn't have had the October 7th disaster with Israel. You wouldn't have had Russia and Ukraine, because that would have never happened. You wouldn't have had inflation. You wouldn't have had the type of withdrawal from Afghanistan that you witnessed, which was probably one of the primary reasons that Russia went into Ukraine. They saw that mess, how badly it was handled. They said, wow, this is a paper tiger. That was handled by incompetent people. But that wouldn't have, we would have been out, but we would have kept Bagram, the big air base, which is 1 hour away from China where they make their nuclear weapons. Would have been nice to have it, but now, you know who has it now? China has it. And so an honest election, and we wouldn't have had inflation. You had the record-setting inflation. We wouldn't have had inflation. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to congratulate Hyundai, a great company, and we will do everything possible. And I will say you picked a fantastic state. You're really with tremendous people and tremendous leaders. And Speaker, I want to thank you for doing a great job. You and Steve, thank you very
sir.
much.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it,
Thank you.
Steve.
Blah, 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 blah. What's up, LW? How are ya?
Good. How about you? Welcome back. Welcome back to the YouTube streets.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely I missed it. I had to creep and lurk every now and then, but it was the service is sketchy out there, so you just kind of take what you can get and go. Okay, well, I tried. Yeah.
Well, we saw you creeping every now and then. We saw you having your withdrawals.
I was definitely having withdrawals, but I made it. I just needed a taste every now and then of you guys. Like, oh, well, that sounded bad, but
You just taste me, man.
It's good you made it back. You didn't get eaten by a bear.
right.
Marv didn't bury you anywhere out in the woods. I mean, it's
Exact. Well, I gotta tell you, I think he wanted to.
get
I think
close.
he was definitely believing that when Mr. Duggar said thanks for taking one for the team, he was like, "Motherfucker, did I ever take one for the team?" I'm telling you, he was about ready to. I think he could have ground me up and stuffed me in the black tank if I would have kept my mouth going much longer. I was so pissed.
I bet
He decided his sentence was up.
yeah, he was about done. Let me tell you, I did feel bad for him every time I'd chew his ass, but I'd still do it. You know me, I stick with it. So yeah, I always felt bad for him when I did it. But how are you, Mr. Duggar?
You know me, babe. I'm too blessed to be stressed.
Good. Yeah,
I just woke up from a baby nap.
a baby nap. So that was like what, an hour?
No, about 2.
2. Damn. If I slept 2 hours, I'd wake up so bitchy. Well, that happens anyways, but
I just think about what you was talking about. I bet if you'd opened your eyes 2 or 3 times a night, he'd be standing there with that pillow picking snuff.
right. I'm telling you what, there were days when he'd just get up and go, "Okay, I'm going for a walk." I'm like, "It's a downpour." Yep. I know. He didn't care. I'll pick the fucking downpour.
So where'd y'all go?
Oh, we went to Florence, which is a sand dunes. It's right on the Oregon coast. And so yeah, they're really cool sand dunes and stuff.
Why
And the
would
kids
you
love
go
playing
see
it.
sand dunes? Do y'all have a paddle bit?
The kids all have either they have the quads that have the sand tires on them,
Yeah.
or they have side by side with the sand tires on them. So they go out and play in the sand for hours. But if it's super, if it's a huge downpour and you can't see, if you're on a 4-wheeler, you got nothing to keep wiping your goggles or whatever. Or if you don't have goggles on, it's still hard to see when it's raining like that. So
it rained the whole time you were gone, or what?
for 5 of the 7 days, 5.5 of the 7 days.
It'll be fun, she said.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. Yeah, it was. I was like, why do you guys keep picking this time of year to go do this? Why don't you wait till it's later in the year? I mean, I would think that'd be, we're on the Oregon coast. Y'all act like you're new. You've lived here your whole lives. You know what it's going to do here in March. But, they chance it. And a lot of times it'll be, it won't rain that much. And they can go out and play on it the whole time. But the last 2 years, last year it was like 3 days out of the 7. It didn't downpour every day. It did a couple of the days. So yeah, it was, but it was, I mean, we had fun. and you know, I have fun because I'm with the kids, so it doesn't matter. And you know, I get to try out everybody else's cook. Well, the people that I trust cooking. There's some that I'm like, no, I'll skip tonight. I don't think I'm very hungry. Thank you. But yeah, super fun. Hanging with my kids, my grandson. He had a ball running through mud puddles with his little bike, and he puts on one of those rain suits that he zips up. It's pretty funny. And his little, I don't know, boots, whatever those plastic, what are they called? Rain boots? Is that what they are?
Rubber boots.
The rubber, yeah. We always called them the overshoes, is what my mother-in-law always called them, because we'd wear them big and we'd slide right into them with our own shoes. But
we called them duckies.
Duckies, huh? Okay.
Rubber ducky, you're the one.
Yeah.
We
So
were
anyways,
weird.
yeah,
We
they
were
had,
weird out here. We called them rain boots.
Yeah.
Rain boots. Yeah, how weird, right?
Slop
So yeah.
boots.
But he goes out completely covered, you know, from head to toe in this, you know, rain suit and his boots. And then he just rides through every mud puddle he can find through the campground. And he has so much fun. It is just a blast to watch him. So, hey, Multi, what's up? So, yeah. Super fun to watch, though. So, yeah, that's what we had a pretty good time doing all that. And except for Marvin, of course, he got a little pissed off and I did a little frustrated with the whole RV thing. And I'm kind of picky with it. Like here at home, I don't care where you put shit, but in my RV, there's a spot for that shit, and that's where I want it to go. And don't put that.
I bet Marv could not wait to get home.
Oh, he couldn't. He really couldn't. He was like, "Oh, son of a bitch, I'm
Every
gonna go
move
crazy."
made, don't you put that there?
Hey, Gutters, when did the lines come out?
When did the what?
The lines?
The lines?
Yeah, the ones on your wrist and around your mouth. When you got home.
Oh,
Now I'm tired, yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you, he was definitely fit to be tied. I mean, the one day he had had about enough with the RV and it not, you know, the slides not working and him trying to figure that out. And of course, in that, you know, everything that he would do. Here's an example. There's a bucket that he had put his tire pump, and it has a pressure gauge and all this shit that Sean had bought him for Christmas one year. And he put it in this bucket along with his drill, and he'd taken his drill out, but he left that pump in the bucket right below, about half underneath the RV and half out. And then it downpoured. Oh, motherfucker, did it ever. And this guy goes walking by. We're right by the bathrooms. And the guy goes walking by us and he goes, he kind of looks up at the window and John and I are sitting in there. Marvin had taken a walk. I obviously had already pissed him off or something. Anyways, and John and I are sitting at the table and this guy looks up at us and he's like, you got a bucket with a pump. And I'm like, a pump? What the fuck are you talking about? So I go running out there. I mean, it's a downpour. And here's this bucket full of water with this pump in it. And I'm just like, oh, thanks. He's like, do you want any help? I'm like, no, I got it. And I dump the bucket out, you know, take it in, unhook it all, try to, you know, fix it the best I can. And here's the deal. That day was Marvin's birthday. And we had just it was early in the morning and we had just realized it was his birthday. And we're both like, John was going to leave that day. And he's like, well, I ain't fucking leaving now. This is Marvin's best friend. He's like, well, I ain't fucking leaving now. I'm like, well, that's a good thing. Because, I mean, the days had just flew by. I knew it was my husband's birthday coming up. But I just, you know, I didn't realize it when we woke up that morning. I knew it the night before. I thought about it. But, oh, geez. I was just like, oh, shit.
Did you get busy making a cake?
No, I didn't make one, but we did improvise, and somebody else ran to town for me and grabbed that and some odds and ends, and we made it all happen. But yeah, it was it was one of them things. And Marv doesn't care really. In fact, he'd have just soon I'd forgot. Like, please don't, shut the fuck up. There's we're hanging out with 50 people we don't even hardly know. We know like 14 of them. The rest of them we hardly know. So it was but it was fun. Hey Ben, what's up?
Yeah, yeah, but my old lady Barb one night, man, went to bed, and it was my birthday. I hadn't told nobody it was my birthday, but she knew, and she hadn't thought about it either and stuff. So I said, I'm going to the casino, and she said, "What's so late?" And it's about 9:00. And I said, "Yeah, I ain't asking your permission. I just letting you know I'm going because you're going to bed anyway." She said, "Okay." And I left, and it was just about 9:15. I got to the casino about 9:00. Make a long story short, in about 45 minutes, I'd won $22,000.
Holy moly!
And so I farted around in there till just about 10:00, 10:30. So I went home. So I get home about 11:15. She was in her bedroom reading, and she goes, "Is it your birthday?" And I go, "Yeah." And she almost started crying. I go, "Don't worry." She goes, "Man, that didn't take long at the casino, did it? Usually I'd stay at the casino 4, 5, 6 hours, And I said, "It sure didn't." And I almost had to bury her with it because I threw $22,000 on her. and it was all hundreds, and she almost had to bury her ass with it. Went back the next day and won 14 grand more.
Dang.
And then of course after that I was done because I paid off my boat, my motorcycle. I was set, and then I started losing a little bit, so I quit going. And I come home from work the next day, and there was about 30 fucking people in my fucking house giving me a surprise party.
Oh Lord.
She said, "You thought I forgot?" I said, "My birthday was 2 days ago, honey." She goes, "Are you kidding me?" I go, "No." She was close. I gave her, but she cooked me some fried shrimp and a steak and made a nice, beautiful cake. We all sat there and got shit faced because it was the weekend.
Yeah, Marv was not. He was like, "Yeah, don't be no happy birthday. Just cut the fucking cake, okay?"
One of you motherfuckers sing and would choke shit out of it.
Yeah. Well, somebody would have wore the cake, so it was better if you just, give him a piece of cake with ice cream on it and say, "There you go, sir."
Something tells me you should have took him somewhere where he had trees or something where he could fish.
Well, there wasn't really a whole lot of, yeah, we obviously could have went fishing, but at that point it was kind of, they had on that specific day, they went and,
Easy for you.
they all went and rode a little bit, but Marv really wasn't, his back can't handle that riding. It just tears him up. So, they did try to talk him into getting to a side-by-side, but I don't know. He didn't feel real keen on those side-by-sides. I'm not sure why. He likes a motorbike himself. So for him, even the four-wheelers, he'd just soon not. He'd just soon be on a motorbike, but,
I like side-by-side better than I do the quads.
Well, everybody tells him if he'd just do the side-by-side, he'd realize it's much easier on his back. Hey, AMC. Yeah, whatever he wants to do. I mean, at that point, he was like, yeah, I just kind of want to kick back. And he had read a bunch, and he kind of enjoys that whole, because he doesn't get to do a lot of that. So when he can, he's like, hey, it's a rainy day. Can we just sit back and like read? Which was cool to be able to catch up and not have to you know, we weren't glued to no electronics.
Yeah, a lot of them don't realize when you get a day like that, doing nothing is priceless.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was actually the nice part about it. It was a big downtime for, especially for those days that it just downpoured. There was not a whole lot you could do. And we all did sit around and, we broke bread at dinner time together. And then, of course, my kids, we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner with my kids. But with the rest of the crew, they all went their separate ways and did their own things. And for breakfast and lunch, and then we'd all come together at dinner, and we all signed up for a one of the nights. And so I lucked out because mine was the first night we got there, and we got there late, and there was only 5 of us, so I didn't have to cook for 14 like everybody else did. I was sure glad of that. I was like, yes, I got the easy night. So yeah, it was fun. But let's see about the whole Hyundai thing. I think Art was thinking that, what about right now? I know he mentioned something about you better, we're not going to see results now. It takes a while to get all that shit up and going. Yes, we're not going to see the results of anything tomorrow. There are a few things that I think, you could see the results of tomorrow, but it also takes a little bit of time to get, that shit. It's a whole country. It's not like a company. It's a whole country. So I think it's, I am very
somewhere, right?
Right. And I am very impatient. I'm just as impatient as everybody else about like, fucking come on, hurry up. What the hell? But like I said, it's a whole country that you have. I mean, when he makes a choice, that's an entire country that's got to like deal with that, whatever it is. And I'm sure that a lot of shit has to be done to get that handled.
Where are they going to put it? Where are they going to do most of it out of?
What?
Which states and stuff like that?
Right. Well, right now it sounds like Louisiana for this, but I mean,
well, yeah, that shit'll go up in no time. It's not like California where they haven't even finished a rail that they started 17 years ago.
Right.
They don't.
Yeah.
They have too many regulations. They can't even finish something they voted into to do.
Yeah, and then the money just disappears.
Yeah, stuff built in Texas, Louisiana, Alabama. That shit'll get thrown up by the end of the year.
It's kind of funny that you guys say that because you sound like you're explaining my hometown swimming pool that they have there. It got really bad. They had to shut it down. And so they had these crab feeds. These crab feeds have been going on since I was a kid. And they started putting all the money and gotten everybody to believe that all the money was going to go towards the swimming pool, the rebuilding of a swimming pool. Well, it has now been about 25 years, 27 years that all the money was supposed to go to these swimming pools. And that swimming pool, it's still, I don't believe it's not finished yet. I think it's supposed to be finished this year, but that's 20. I mean, I just don't understand how in the hell these are crab feeds. All the money was, they realized that a bunch of the money ended up missing. Now, where'd the money go? They don't know. They just, and that's a really small town. So, I mean, it's no different in a small town than it is a bigger town or, fucking state, county, country. There's so much bullshit going on. And that's in a red state and a red county and a red town.
What red state?
Idaho.
Oh. Did either one of y'all watch the grilling down of the defense and threat capabilities with Gabbard and not Nunez, the other one, the CIA guy, and Cash Patel at the time.
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything all week.
It was pretty hot topic. The Democrats are all like jumping on a phone call, always a phone call that they trying to say that they use classified information on, which everybody denies, of course, and they're trying to tell them, how China's the main threat, Russia, and going through our adversaries and problems that they're facing and stuff like that. And I tell you what, them guys are like mad dogs trying to grill our top commanders of our outfits, the CIA, FBI, and Tulsi Gabbard, and CIA. And I tell you what, they got one little thing that you do wrong or might have done wrong, and they try to grab onto it like a pit bull and shake it till it comes apart. It's just.
Well, I mean, they did. Somebody in that text thread added the Atlantic, a journalist from the Atlantic.
Exactly, that's who I'm talking about. Yeah, and what was it, for the New York Times or something?
No, the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, the
It's
Atlantic,
online.
yeah.
It's like a big lib. It's like a big liberal online news thing. So for them to get copied in, that means somebody in that group was talking to them. So it was probably done by somebody on purpose. So one of those motherfuckers is probably up to no good.
Yep.
Well, there's other people involved in the call besides the three top. It
wasn't a phone call; it was a text message.
Yeah, it was a Signal. On Signal, and that was. And then the senators were grilling them about the call, and our guys would just try to talk about everything, but all the little rats and lizards, that's all they could talk about.
What is Signal?
It's where one text something and it goes to a group. The way
probably like it's a WhatsApp or something like that, or probably no different than like a Twitter private message DM thread or something.
I think WhatsApp pretty well describes it. I got off WhatsApp because that's just like TikTok. It's Chinese influence, and I to this day get
chat app. So a Signal is an encoded messaging app. Oh, an encrypted. Oh, but still.
Yeah, I mean, what it means is like one of the people in it, they have that Atlantic person's phone number in there, and they've probably been messaging them, and that's how they either accidentally put it in there or somebody put it in there on purpose to create this problem. Yeah. So which means, again, he's probably got some dirty motherfuckers that he hired.
But it's not a group chat. I mean, it ain't necessarily a group chat. It's just Signal is an open source encrypted messaging service for instant messaging, video calls, and and voice calls. The instant messaging function includes texting, sending texts, voice notes, and images and videos, and blah blah blah. So, I mean, it seems like it could be private. But I mean,
to me, it doesn't matter what it is that people are controlling who's in it, right? Like if I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying, but
like if me and Fools and LW had that, and we were talking about the mice in your drawer, and
Right.
didn't want you to know it, but you were actually on the line, then you heard it all.
Well, yeah, you could that way, but if it's like Twitter or even Gmail where you're just messaging one person, it doesn't mean that, I mean,
It was a group on.
Well, it's not, I'm going to set this one out. I'm going to hit mute.
okay. Well, I didn't realize it was a group text. Sorry. I thought you were saying, well, they were all group texts with Signal, but I see. It was a group text between a bunch of people.
But it's kind of like WhatsApp. Like the WhatsApp is supposed to, it's encrypted. It's supposed to not store your information, and once you delete it, nobody can access it anymore. But that's up for debate. But
like Snapchat.
Right.
Got it.
But it was, however it was done, I guess saying text messages is the easiest way to explain it. There was a group thread, and somehow somebody from the Atlantic was put in there by somebody in the thread. That's the only way they could enter the thread, is if one of those people put them in there, whether it be on purpose or by mistake.
Well, Trump revealed who was behind the Signal text chat text chain link leak.
Who do you say it was?
I don't know. Let's hear. It's from Fox News. Let me shut this one down. I'm looking.
To me, regardless, if there was nothing top secret or anything like this, but I know if the situations were reversed, conservatives would be flipping out too on the Democrats about it. It is a stupid thing that they,
Yeah, we're talking about Houthi, invading the Houthis or whatever they are, the Iran-backed guys. And they kind of mentioned targets and stuff, times and stuff like that. So,
right.
I don't know. But the guy running the chat was in charge of what's classified. The defense secretary was the one that was in charge of whether it's classified or not. It was pretty hilarious.
Okay.
It is funny. It's like good to know all this top secret information or war plans could just accidentally be texted to, what if you just, they accidentally put in there like their butcher or their doctor, like, oh yeah, we're bombing Russia in 3 days. Oh shit, we copied in the fucking DoorDash guy.
All right, let's see what these guys have to say.
I'd say it was Miller that leaked the shit.
Okay, it's only 3 minutes long, so I'm
happiness is not always easy. This season, a lot has happened. Life hit us pretty fast.
The Lifetime original series returns.
Emotions really intense. People don't feel like I'm going to be there's layers to my story. I want to be a role model to my daughter for the right reasons.
Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup. New episode.
Like freeing the hooker or
Ashley
what?
Strohmeyer live for us in New York. Ashley, thank you. Let's bring in retired Army veteran, Black Hawk helicopter pilot, and battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb. Colonel Gobb, great to have you on the show. So when the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth landed in Hawaii, he took a swipe at the Atlantic reporter and then denied that any war plans were texted. Here's what he said.
This is a guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does. I would love to comment on the Houthi campaign. because of the skill and courage of our troops. I've heard it was characterized, nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
Jeffrey Goldberg was on MSNBC tonight, Colonel, indicating that Pete Hegseth is not being honest. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it's very interesting that Pete said they were not texting about war plans. That doesn't mean that there wasn't necessarily a signal group somewhere where they could have been texting about something. And I don't have proof either other way. Of course, it'll be interesting to see where any investigation goes and whether or not any of this plays out to be true or not. But I don't find it unusual at all that there would be a text group of some kind talking about operations to a certain level, even on Signal. I personally have used that app, its communications functions, to do updates with 7 different aviation task forces across Eastern Europe and the Middle East. None of it was nearly as, of course, as what is alleged to have been discussed within this one. I'd be surprised if it happened the way it was described in the Atlantic, but if it did, then I think there's something that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, the other headline in this came out of the Vice President, J.D. Vance, because J.D. Vance apparently was not on the same page as the other texters, saying, quote here, "I think we are making a mistake talking about the attack. There is a real risk that the public doesn't understand this or why it's necessary." I mean, a lot of people have said, don't you want your VP to give an honest assessment of what he feels? If you're weighing in, weigh in.
Of course. And if this is all true, as advertised, I would want a VP that would challenge the president and say, hey, are we really doing the right thing? And then that national security apparatus could weigh in themselves and say, and make their arguments. We don't need everybody scared to share an opinion, basically. In the end, when the decision is made, everybody gets behind it, so everybody is successful, the best they can be, and our troops are able to execute their mission. But I don't think we should be afraid of debate. Now, most of this stuff does go on behind closed doors, and that's where it should remain. So there's nothing here that I see that really truly concerns me.
I think robust debate is always a good thing. I've got to go here, Colonel, but Politico writes this, quoting tonight, Waltz's future, talking about the National Security Advisor, is in doubt following accidental war plan leak. Do you think there will be a hit? Do you think somebody will go because of this? I've got 15 seconds.
Yeah, we'll find out. Yeah, it depends on what was leaked and how much of the detail and what the investigation results in. But we'll all be waiting, I guess, for that answer.
Yeah, Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb, great to have your advice, sir. Thank you. We appreciate it.
So that didn't sound like him saying that he that they were naming the culprit. It was a journalist. Well, we already knew that, right?
Yeah.
Happiness is not.
Well, since they mentioned Waltz, maybe he was what they.
Maybe he's the one. He's the culprit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The commie.
The commie in the bunch.
The fucking commie.
This isn't like accidentally sending your pics to your sister's friend, folks. This was an active operation. Fred Bender, Waltz and his wife are both on the cabinet. He is a rhino and she is a lib. Both should go. Fred, you know what? I think you're right, too.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same thing that happened in his first term. There's a bunch of people in there who kissed his ass to get in there, and then they made up a bunch of shit and leaked stuff, and none of it you could prove and stuff like that. And then here we are again.
Yeah.
Who we gonna see next shift denying it? Fighting about it.
Well, I mean, it is a problem. Somebody doing this type of stuff. So, and the Atlantic of all people, it's not like, it was like some buddy of theirs from Fox News or something. This is like a media organization that is 100% anything Trump or against, so they're looking for anything. And somehow they get in there.
It was like if CNN had been in there.
Well, and it's pretty obvious of who leaked it. I mean, if Waltz is in any way connected in it, then you know who's going to have leaked it. That's not hard to figure out. I mean, criminy sakes. And it shouldn't be hard to prove either. I mean, this day and age, you ought to be able to, there's got to be a way to trace it all back to his bullshit. To his, email, whatever. What do you call it? What do you call those numbers?
IP addresses.
Thank you. That's the one.
Wow, look at that Mr. Duggar whipping it out.
Look at it. Is it all techie over there and shit?
Yeah.
Damage control needs to be done. Well,
welcome to Microsoft Control.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're just mad because they're dropping like flies. They're all over Elon's ass, man. Blowing up Democrats' cars, even. So
I love how nervous they all are. No, Elon's looking at our private information. You're an idiot. Sure he is. Yeah, that's what's happening. That's the only way he's going to be able to find out how much you guys have been ripping us off. Is to look at your private information. Oh, please.
That's what's funny about when people on Twitter complain about it and they have a blue check mark. I was like, oh, wait a second. You had to give them your name, your address, your credit card number. I mean, what are you talking about?
Right.
He has your information. He already has it if you're typing on Twitter with a blue check mark.
Exactly.
Do you have a blue check mark?
No, I'm not paying for
I'm
that
not.
shit.
Me either. They want my shit. They're going to have to go for it themselves. I'm sure they've got it, but
she said
I'm not going to pay in it. Ma.
I don't know, man. It's turning into a little more miniature wars than the previous time they were in, But now he's got a few more loyal people, I think the rats are being kicked off the ship, you know what I mean? And that's what
maybe.
But cutting the information away, and there's security clearances and shit.
The problem is if you don't nab them, it's like anything, it'll just dig deeper and hide until, the coast is clear. And then they'll come back out again. So, I mean, you got to get them before they dig deep.
Sort of like cockroaches.
Right, or something. Ugh. All right, Arby. Go walk the dog. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
Big dog ball.
Wait.
And Flatty's in there.
I'll be right there just a minute.
So how long were y'all gone?
She said hang tight. I think she had to go
fix
fix her wind chime or something.
Yeah, now we can have man talk, man. Hell yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, man. I think I'm kind of excited they kept Cam.
Yeah, see what he can do.
I mean, if he starts messing up, then send him down. I got to root for Chaz, man. God dang, he's walking a lot.
Yeah,
he ain't hitting too good. And that DeHinto guy, he's pretty good.
Yeah, I think they're playing tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. I'd like to have him, and I'd like to have Cam in right field, and DeHinto. He's another. Who's the guy they got playing second base? Their utility guy.
I forget his name.
I'll think of it in just a second. But he's just like him. He can play in a lot of different spots. And Yiners look like shit, man. You know, I think Caratini's a better catcher. You know, he's
Yeah,
Definitely. Oh,
I
she
thought somebody came in the house. I was like, oh, it's probably the kids or something. And
got
so I go look and nothing's there. The fuck, I hate that shit.
she got spooks.
Well, it just freaks me out, especially when I'm here by myself and I ain't paying attention. I'm, talking with you guys, so I got my back turned to the door. It's like loud.
You need your little makeup mirror and a pistol.
Hey, you don't have
both.
You don't have a water gun at your desk?
I do have a good water gun at my desk. I do.
Good,
And
good.
Yes.
Lord help on. Maybe the wicked witch of the wind got to melt one. A wicked witch show up on you.
Yeah.
Aw. Wish I could show you what I'm looking at.
Uh-oh. Get that out of your hands, Mr. Duggar. Pull your pants back.
It would be hands. But no, I got like 4 deer coming down my little right of way. 4 mule deer.
Oh.
I think they're all does. They ought to be popping with babies here pretty soon.
So what have you guys been doing while I was gone? Did you do anything, or you just sat here and waited till I came back?
Yes, our whole lives stopped for a whole week.
What just went on hold, didn't you?
We were just sitting on the back porch for an entire week. When is she returning? When can we start our life again?
You made me cry better.
I bet.
And stress.
I'm sure. And Fools, he didn't even try to keep you occupied or anything? He as devastated as you guys were.
Yeah, he quit YouTube for a week. He was like, I'm on protest until Duggar's Pub returns.
First time I ever heard him say something bad about Marvin.
You know what he was waiting for? He was waiting for this. Can you hear this? That's what it was. It's his favorite noise. He loves it when I make noise in the mic.
Yeah, somebody did that the other night on it. Out of the blue, they just started crackling paper in the mic or something like that. And he had his camera on. I could see it go through him like an ice pick. Dude. It was like he didn't laugh.
I went live the other day and luckily didn't have any of those problems.
No, that went pretty good. That went pretty smooth.
Well, that's because I wasn't there. Just let me be there. I'll fix that shit right up. I can fuck up an anvil.
I didn't hear anybody who sounded like they climbed into a fucking dishwasher.
Go get another box of that wine, Cletus. Cheaper budget.
That's right. Well, and I'm not like sliding shit across the table. That's the other one that he loves so much.
Did he ever get his slides open on your RV?
No. Well, here's the deal. He came out of the bathroom on the 20th and opened it. That was 4 days of being there. And he pushed the button and it started to open on the back slide. But I told him stop because I need to make sure everything was out of the way. And then he said, we better not pull it out because, if we get it stuck here at the campground, I'm like, oh, bummer, we'll have to just keep camping. That would suck. But yeah, he said no. So we had to, leave him in the whole time, which is still, it's a pretty wide, she got big hips. It's a pretty wide Bertha, let me tell you.
Did you try to open them once y'all got home?
We haven't tried because we're parked in the turnaround. So once we put it into storage, we have enough room on each side of it to open both slides. And if they happen to stay open, it's okay until we get somebody there to fix them. So, but so tomorrow we'll take and move it over there, and then we will try to open them and see how they do. And I'm just hoping that all goes well. But on the other hand, I'm hoping that The thing about it is, I don't know, it could have been, maybe it was just a little off on the level, or maybe the seat wasn't, maybe the seat, because I had the seat up versus down, because this is the first time I've drove it. Maybe that's why it did it. See, Marv had always drove it before, and I drove it this time, and I moved the seat up, like literally not forward, I mean up, like up towards the roof. So I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it, because they said the seat has to be all the way forward.
You drove the RV?
I did, all the way to Florence and all the way back, and I backed it in everywhere. I drove that bitch. And when Marv has his surgery, and
Did you used to be a man?
no,
I don't believe women could do that.
I did it. And when Marv goes for surgery and he can't do anything, I told him, I'm just going to make you get in the RV and I'm going to do everything. And we're going RV-ing for every week when we don't have the grandson. So, haha. And you can't tell me no, because you'll hurt. And then if you even say no, I'll poke you where you got your surgery and you'll go or hurt really bad. So he said he'd go as long as he doesn't have to do anything. And I said, fine. You don't have to do nothing.
Do y'all pull any kind of like a chase car or anything? Or
We have a Toad. We have a little geo tracker that we pull. So I didn't pull it this time. I will next time though.
you should replace them with electric bikes.
We are getting electric bikes that we will put on the back of it. They'll go on the back of the tracker.
Yeah, that's all you need is an electric bike, something to get to town with.
Yeah, but sometimes we like to go a little further, and so we'll want the tracker. And it's super little. It's like taking a freaking go-kart almost.
Yeah, it's a ride lawnmower with a roof.
Exactly.
You know, they were one of the first companies to put defrost on the back windows.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so you keep your hands warm while you push them.
Geos? Oh, Marvin has had several. He loves them. He made one Geo into a 94, 91 Geo because he took the 94 motor out and put it in the 91 body because Matt had wrecked the 94. Well, somebody had hit him. And then he drove that until it died. And then he finally said, okay, I'll let the trackers die. And the trackers died. And then we went and got this RV and they offered that fucking Geo to go with it. And of course I was like, I don't care. I'm getting the RV. You could buy a fucking, I don't care what you buy. I don't care. Go ahead. Sure. Be my guest. And so he bought the tracker and was all excited about it. And then he got it home and went, ooh, there might be a little more work to this. And I was like, of course there is. So, but I let him deal with it. And him and Sean have had a ball. Sean took it hunting. Sean's already had 2 deer in it. So it's, oh yeah.
They'll go anywhere, man. They're amazing,
they will.
Amazing little things, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got 2 boots that we got to put on it on the CV joints or some shit.
Yeah.
We got to get put on it so mud and shit don't get in there. Because the boots that are on there are cracked. So we need to replace those. So Marv's just got to put them on. We already got them, but yeah.
Oh my God. Oh.
Super fun shit. I can't wait to go. We won't go very far. We'll just go out of town here, and because we're only going to be able to be gone for 3 or 4 days, so we won't go very far. But it'll be getting out and taking that RV out and getting the bugs worked out of it. You got to do it time and time again, man. It's kind of like
You got to drive.
Hmm?
You got to drive them.
Yes, you do. Nothing that's like that wants to. You can't let them sit still. It's not good for them.
No. Well, my niece has a nice one that I think I'm going to buy from her. I mean, she gave me a boat, so I need something just to jump from lake to lake to lake to lake to lake, and I'm ready to go fishing, man. Walleye are starting to bite. trout biting, so it's time to go fishing.
Yeah.
Catfish are biting somewhere. I know they are.
Well, here, I'll show you. I'll show you our campsite, and let's see. I was gonna post this and I didn't do it, but let me see. Where are we at? All right. There's our campsite, and that's where our RV and the van that John was driving. And John, he slept in his van. I thought he might come in and sleep in ours, but he has a really nice bed in his, so he's like, fuck that. I'll sleep right in here. I was like, perfect, okay. So yeah, pretty nice area, and then that's a better picture. Our RV's on the other side of it. But I didn't do tons of pictures. I did do some of Lou, who, there's his little jumpsuit. He's washing his hands on the water that's coming off of the awning because he fell down and he hates dirty hands. So yeah. My parents have been doing this for the last 6 years. Enjoy, they do. Yeah, P Digits, I'm enjoying it. Marvin, he's having a little bit of, I mean, for him, he's like, I'd rather just fly. And I'm like, go ahead, you fly, I'll drive. Now I know how to get that, Now I know what to do. I just need to know how to drive. I knew all the other shit. I can do all that. But I can't, it'll be fine. If it breaks down, I just go stand beside the road and somebody will stop and help. Guaranteed.
Flash your boobies at them. Come on.
That's right.
Well, that's why God gave you boobies, because they help you when you're broke down on the side of the road.
Right. Exactly. Get your tire changed, everything. In fact, it just worked on the way home the other day. We drove by, and my son was ahead of us with his pickup and his trailer, his camper trailer, and there was somebody else that had pulled over, and they had one just like his, a toy hauler camper type trailer, and they had a flat tire. They had a blowout, and so Sean whipped it over, and the dude wasn't standing out there. It was the woman. Well, when he pulled over, Sean's like, oh, this is actually, we know these guys. So it was kind of cool, but they stopped and fixed their tire, and away they went. But see, it took just the woman being out there. If the dude would have been out there, they'd have been like, oh, fuck it. Dude's got it.
He got it.
Yeah, do that more. You'll get to see what chloroform smells like.
Wake up in the trunk of a car.
Mister, you sure do have a lot of shovels and plastic wrap in your trunk.
Yeah, right. What's with the duct tape, sir?
Yeah, really. I'm enjoying this. Could you beat me no more?
We do have levels. We don't have nothing necessarily. Here's the deal, as Marvin said, oh, we'll just use the stabilizers and it'll pull it. I'm like, no, you're not breaking my stabilizers. So it wasn't perfectly level, but it wasn't like so out of level that you couldn't stand it. It was a little out of level though. Not bad. Just back and forth, not from side to side, just to the forward. So, I mean, it was, I wasn't impressed, but I tried not to be too much of a bitch. I was already bitchy enough. So I figured I'd done enough. I probably best not bitch about the leveling. Well, and then I also realized that he left our $100 leveler somewhere. We didn't go into that either because we did. But as soon as I realized that he had left them, and he left the sewer thing. I do all the inside stuff. You just do the outside stuff.
That's probably why your slide outs wouldn't work.
Slide outs didn't work because of me, I think, to tell you the truth. I almost think it is because I had them all jacked up from having the slide locks in one side, not the other. But who knows?
Oh, that could be it.
I wonder how many Hyundai cars are about to be keyed. I don't know. If Fuck, I hope not. I have a Hyundai. It's from fucking 1902. I wouldn't think they'd key it, but fuck, people are stupid.
Rolls Royce, they're coming back too, or they're building a big plant here to avoid the tariffs.
Good. Good. See, it worked. Trump was not wrong, was he? Ta-da! Nobody wants to pay the tariffs, and all it means is you fucking bring it here. Well, perfect. It's a fabulous idea. I'm glad they all thought of it. All them countries that are showing up here wanting to fucking... Don't park near a Tesla gutter. Aggression, right? Well,
I
I'm
think
not
these
really...
retards don't understand. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't use the R word on here, can I? They're all insured. The dealerships are insured.
Right?
It's not like he's losing money.
Yeah, it's just a hassle.
It's just a
disrespect.
Pain in the ass, yeah.
I kind of wish they'd get caught, though, and, like, you know, you just have somebody that was absolutely unruly and just fucking...
Well, 3 of them have been caught, and they look exactly how you think they would look.
Of course, yes.
And they all look
like
like
mohawk hair.
All
Yes,
look like
I
they
got it.
live near you.
Yes. Well, some of them did, because they shot up this Tesla over here in Tualatin.
One guy they caught in his pajamas scratching one was a classic, though.
They did it twice here.
Little soy boys.
They shot the windows out of the fucking building and then shot up a bunch of cars. Sons of bitches.
Yeah, them bullets tinging off in trucks don't even go in most of them. They hit the glass.
Imagine being the security guard. Oh no, I got my flashlight. My telephone. That should save me.
Oh, I got my AR. There's a bunch of dead ones out there.
Yeah, you know, they all think too that the climate change is going to end the world in 10 years. So what do? They go blow up and melt batteries all over the road. It's a good idea, huh?
Yeah.
They're pretty sharp people, those folks.
Right? Jesus. I mean, you know what? These are the kind of people that'll just, if you just wait long enough, they'll weed themselves out. Just hold, please.
There's a reason batteries has do not drink contents on them now.
Right.
Can you believe they actually put on the side of a battery, don't drink contents? Will cause death.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just America. We're stupid. Pop-Tarts, the first instruction is please open box.
Yeah, right.
Fuck. Right.
Yeah, don't put them in there with the plastic sleeves around it.
Yeah.
That's the flavoring, is the outside package.
Oh my God.
I can't see deer anymore. It got dark.
Yeah, I'm telling you. It's kind of like there was a joke, and it was something about how do you drown a blonde? And my son Sean told this joke to one of Kayla's blonde friends. He's like, how do you drown a blonde, Melissa? And she's like, I don't know, hold her underwater. And he's like, oh, stick a scratch and sniff at the bottom of the pool. And she's like, I don't get it. She was a teenager. And he goes, a scratch and sniff? They put it at the bottom of the pool. They go down to scratch it, and then they sniff, and they suck air into their lungs, and they drown. And she's like, I've sniffed underwater. I didn't drown. And Sean's like, really? Well,
maybe that's why she didn't get the joke.
Right.
She's got too many air bubbles up in that brain.
Here, hold this ash block for a while you're there.
One time, Sean wasn't very old when this was going on. I mean, he was still like middle school, maybe. And she showed up in her car, and she had a little convertible. And she said, my car, it seems like it's really hot. I wonder if I should take it to Les Schwab's. And John's like, I'm not sure Les Schwab's is going to be able to help you with a car that's hot. And so, he said, you better call your dad. So anyway, that was one incident. Well, then one day she showed up and she goes, I think my tire's low. And he goes, now you call Les Schwab's. But here's, this young kid telling the teenager who's driving the car how to do it. It was priceless.
I had to help a lady one time. She was we're at a gas station. She was trying to jab a damn diesel pump into her
Oh no.
Toyota Camry. And I'm like, there's a reason that doesn't fit. You've got the wrong one.
That's right.
You've got the green one. It's not the green one.
It's not the green one. We use the white one. Not to be racist in any way, shape, or form, but we use the white handle one for our RV because it doesn't like the green handle ones. Unless they're 5 or lower, I think it is. You know the number on the diesel? Mm-hmm.
Well, I know when my nephew got his first truck, he could already work on it. Kids nowadays, none of them
No.
can.
Mm-mm.
Well, the cars now are too hard to work on, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are a pain in the ass.
Well, you got to be a scientist to work on it.
I mean, when you have to take out change a fan motor and you have to put a car on a lift.
Yeah, that's
Well, they really don't want you to work on them. They would like everything to just go tits up and you just go buy a new one. That's the whole.
no, they want you to fix it. That's why they're made to break.
But most people don't. As soon as it breaks, they're like, okay, it's time that I trade it in. What will you give me for that? I'll buy a new one. They don't want to. 9 times the people that are, and they just go through cars like fucking underwear.
Okay, that's why I lease cars, because it puts all that on the dealer, And also, if you say you lease a car and you wreck it a year after you get it, but they fix it, but it's a high number to fix it. The great part of the lease is you can walk away from that negative equity. Here's your car back.
We save this how when I wrecked my car, well, this dude pulled out in front of me. But and it totaled it. I drove our old Toyota car until it took me about a year, and I saved up enough money and was able to buy another car. But that's how we buy cars. We do not do payments on anything ever. We just don't at all. We have to save the money before we're allowed
They don't make no sense. You could put the money there. It could earn money for you. Have automatic payments taken out. Never have to jack with it again. It's like paying it one time, and then your money could be working for you. You take that. That's why the lease is so great. You can drive like 4 brand new cars for the price, 3 years apiece, for the price you paid for one car.
You are a salesman, Mr. Duggar. From the word fucking go.
I'm just trying to explain to you how a lease it can be beneficial. On the smaller cars, you can drive 4 of them. Like on the trucks and stuff, you could drive 3 trucks for the price of one. And you had 36,000 miles. And if you want to feel like you own something, and you hadn't had a wreck in that 36,000 miles on that last one, then you can buy that bitch out. If you just got to own something. But why wouldn't you drive a car that's fully under warranty for 3 years?
For me, it's all about appreciation, and I think that's what we always try to teach our kids was to.
There's no appreciation. It's a depreciating they call it asset.
It is
it's not an asset because it depreciates.
Right. So why continue to pay payments on it when you could just save up the money and buy it?
Exactly. So that's why you lease.
No, that's paying
payments. No, listen to me. You're not following what I'm saying. You're driving a brand new car one you're not going to have to spend money on for maintenance, and then you're going to drive it for 36. And guess what? 3 years, you get a new car. You drive it for 36,000 miles, and next year you get another car. Okay, all this time you haven't paid any maintenance. You haven't had to fix anything on your dime. You're driving the newest, most safest technology out there. You're not gonna be losing money because you're not owning it and it's depreciating it. It costs money to drive a car whether you purchase it or lease it, but it's more beneficial for you if you just rent the son of a bitch. And it just works out in your favor. And I mean, like I say, nobody drives for free, even when you go pay them $20,000 or $30,000 for a car. Do you own that car? No, you're steadily paying depreciation. And Lord help you if you get into an accident with it. And that's the greater part about a lease. That accident goes with the car. It doesn't stay with you. Your insurance fixes it. And then, do you want to drive a wrecked car? No. So you roll it into another lease. And now that you're not upside down, a car that's worth $8,000 that you still owe 15 on.
Well, Mom makes a really good point, but then you will own nothing and be happy and eat the bugs.
That's why I say, as long as you're able to, next time you save up that kind of money, go lease your car and pay what they need for the down payment to adjust it to the price that you want to get at with the down payment. And you do it one time and you'll never buy another car, except for when you're getting so old. When you're starting to get so old and you're thinking about retirement, then you buy one and keep that one. Unless you got a trust fund or money in the bank that can keep making payments each month. But that's my advice right there. If you still got the means to make that monthly payment on a lease, even though you're retired, you're driving a lot safer car. You're driving one that's more dependable. What's it worth to you? That's what I'm saying. I'd rather drive a brand new car or a 2-year-old car versus a 10-year-old car. The 10-year-old cars are starting to get where they need stuff. 5-year-old cars are starting where they need stuff. And hell, you'll have the same tires. You'll have new tires on the one when you change in, because that's about all you get out of tires nowadays from the dealerships, or them $20,000, $30,000 tires.
Yeah, the jury's still out on these cars from like 2018 on. You got to see with all that new stuff.
Oh yeah,
what their longevity is after like 10 years.
So lease prevents you from driving something that could be a catastrophe down the road. You're only responsible for a portion of the car, not the whole car. And usually your payment's cheaper than if you bought a car per month.
The average, I just saw it the other day, the average car payment in 2025 is $507.
Holy fuck. Marvin would have a conniption fit. We ain't got one payment that's that much. Holy shit, no way.
Yeah. I decided a decade ago I'm never going to buy a new car again.
Oh my God.
That's why I bought out my 2016, but that was the third car I had leased.
Right.
The money I had saved up to buy a brand new car, I put in a lease because, I didn't know if I'd get pissed off at Barb and leave, or Barb kick me out or whatever. I didn't want to be responsible for that kind of money, or somebody else that didn't want me around anyway, even though we'd been together 15, 20 years. And I wanted her in something dependable because she was driving to California and back all the time. So
P. Digit said, my last truck purchase, phantom payments, begins in 4 years when the deed is in hand. How's that work?
I didn't read it. I'd have to read it to see if I can understand what he's talking about.
Yeah. I'm just buying old Hondas and Toyotas from here on out, calling it a day.
I drove my daughter's Toyota Camry today. Man, that's a nice car. And it's like a 2000, I want to say it's a 2020 or 2019, something like that. Man, that sucker drives so nice compared to my freaking Hyundai. Hyundai's a road noise in them suck. You feel everything in them. They're shitty cars in that sense. But when I bought it, it was like, oh, this is the safest car for this year. La, 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 la. And it was, of course, a year old when I bought it. But
And a good thing about buying a solid, and you can find some great deals online. You'll find some old person who's selling a 2015 Toyota Camry. It's got like 60,000 miles on it. They go every 3,000 miles to do they've got all the paperwork. That car will last you till 2035.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a 300,000 mile car. Well, that's with Ford too. Ford is actually a more dependable car than a Toyota. So some of the cars, you know, if you look around,
overall, I mean, it's just
overall, they're still the number one selling truck in America and have been for over 50 years.
Well, truck, yeah, because it's not,
and they're
truck, yeah, but not all the car. The number one cars on the road. That's why it's so cheap to fix the Toyotas. It's because there's so many on the road. Parts are readily available.
More Fords than there are Toyotas, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. Check the numbers, man. I go over this list all the time. The top 7 ranked cars are all Toyotas.
Oh, the light car, but look up sold cars, ownership.
yeah, Toyota's still got, I think, I say that. I mean, everything I've seen has showed that Toyota just hands down. And they hold their value like nobody's business.
They're awesome. You pay for awesome, though. I think
My daughter, here's how my daughter got hers. Her lawyer boss had taken her to an auction it was a rental car auction. And the car had 26,000 miles on it or something. And that fucker was like brand new. And she has had no problems with it at all. I mean, nothing. It's just a dream car. So, and she paid less than any place else she could have paid at the time. This was, I don't know, 4 years ago. So yeah, that car was, but everywhere else that she looked for the same car with the same mileage, all of that, she was going to pay. I want to say it was another $2,000 or $3,000 more. It might have been more than that. I want to say it was $3,000 more that she was supposed to pay, or would have to pay if she didn't buy it from this auction outfit. It's what's one of those rental companies? Hertz. I think it was Hertz. Might have been the other one. What's the other one? I don't know, but it was one of those.
I love Toyotas. Don't misconstrue. I think they're the best car out there. They run neck and neck with Ford and Lexus and Lincoln. They're the same quality of cars. They're high quality cars. I sold Toyotas for 15 years.
Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with the cars, the engines, the longevities, and keeping the value and stuff.
Right.
Like the old trucks, they go forever. Same thing with the Ford, they go forever. I mean, it's just a lot of people bitch about how a car does this, a car like it, but they don't do the maintenance correctly. They don't. Well, that one eats tire. Well, they didn't rotate their tires. You know, so a lot of things they're blaming on cars or trucks is because they're all negligent.
Good night, Dan.
Usually the thing that I go by is what I'm worried about. I don't care how many, people buy Ford trucks or whatever. It's the percentage of repairs for what you bought the thing. So if you buy a new car for 50 grand, it's over a decade, over the lifetime of that car, how much percentage of what you paid for it you put into repairs. And Dodge is the number one worst. So, and I had a shit Dodge, so I'll never buy Dodge again. And the cheapest to percentage of what you pay for it in repairs over its life is like Toyota and Honda. Now, it doesn't mean that Ford is bad. I'm just saying statistically, those are the cheapest in maintenance is the Toyota and stuff like that.
I don't know. I can tell you that this RV that drives, I mean, it's a truck. It's straight up a truck. It's a truck chassis. But it has a 55 Kodiak. Oh my gosh. With an Allison transmission, and that bitch, she just purrs every place. I mean, I got to tell you, when I first got in it and tried to drive it, I'm like, fuck, it feels gutless. I mean, I'm pushing on the gas, and he's like, no. Sean's like, put your foot in it, Mom. Fuck, don't be a pussy. And so I put my foot in it, and I was like, oh, but I mean, at first I was like, is it supposed to do this? I mean, it seems like it's taking a bit. And he's like, Mom, you have to understand it's a diesel. When you get this bitch rolling, she rolls. So once I figured it out, I was like, oh, okay. Well, hell, that's okay. I got it. I just got to learn to slow down in time because, man, there's a lot of hit behind her. And if you don't slow down, you're going to find your ass in around to meet you at some point. So,
yeah.
And
to Mr. Duggar's point, it all depends on, too, how you take care of them and stuff like that. But it also is like, it really doesn't really matter. That's kind of the reason I kind of like older cars now is because let's say even Toyota, let's just take that for example. There are generations of each vehicle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like my Dodge, for example, it was 2009 to 2013. That was a generation of a car or that style. And 5 years after that, they made the generation between 2009, 2013, they were like, oh shit, we kind of fucked up a lot of stuff about it. Same thing with Toyota. You can find a generation of Toyotas like 2006, 2010. They just kind of made those a little shitty with like compressor issues and shit like that. But for some reason, I was looking at this the other day. For some reason, after a 10-year test, 2012 was a good year for solid cars being built for whatever reason. It was like the 2012 Camry, the 2012 Accord, the 2012 Ford Fusion. Apparently, a decade later, those all rate like super well built and not a lot of problems to it.
Well, the Toyota is definitely more expensive than the Ford, but they are cheaper to maintain.
Yeah, and whatever on that list was that 2012 Ford Fusion, they said was just, for whatever reason, that year was a great car.
That's the one I actually wanted. And if I would have saved for a little bit longer, that's what I would have chose to got. But I ended up getting the Elantra, which I loved. It was the other car that I had planned on, due to its safety factors. And, I had a granddaughter that was she wasn't very old, and we were going to do quite a bit of traveling in it. And so, I just wanted a safe rig. And so that's kind of where I came up with, okay, I'll save my money for this one. But then I seen the Ford Fusion, and I was kind of juggling between the two. And I was like, well, okay, if I do the Elantra, I get it now. If I do the Fusion, I got to wait longer. So.
Well, when Hyundai first come out and they brought out the Sonata, the big joke was, is Sonata a good car?
Oh. Yeah, the Elantra.
They're a pretty solid car company now.
Yeah, Elantra. This car is. I mean, knock on wood, it's never left me stranded. It's it's done it's had recalls and shit that's had to go back in, but otherwise, I mean, it's been a good car. I don't like how the road noise is. It's not a smooth driving car by no means. They're, it's just not. It's definitely a cheaper made car, but safety factor wise, it was like number one back in the day for its, for the year of it. So that was my number one reason for it.
I don't know, man. I couldn't be. I want a truck so bad I can't hardly stand it. But it's that little Lincoln just drives. I have a little MKC. That thing drives so freaking good, man. It's real soft and it's faster than shit. It's got the 2.2 EcoBoost in there, and that's a lot of engine for that little light SUV.
I'm going to make Marvin put the tires back on the Datsun now because his Toyota's broke down and he took my car today. So I'm going to tell him, fine, if you're taking my car this week, you put the tires on the Datsun because I'm going to need to drive it.
Is that the truck?
Yeah.
Oh no, he'll be driving that truck. He puts the wheels on.
Oh, I don't know. It's a long ways to the airport, so I don't know.
That's the one he got from Alaska?
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to drive that truck.
I want that truck.
Ooh,
Oh.
gosh, I can't wait. Yeah.
If I would fit in it.
I'll make sure to video me when I drive it, so everybody can be all jealous. I am going to be doing some burnouts. No, I'm not. Marv, if you're listening, I swear I'm not.
Marv, she will too. Don't be that shit. That was one of my first cars was a Datsun. I had a Datsun B210.
Yeah.
That little dude was it was perfect for going fishing. It's a little hatchback.
Hey, Kaylin. Yeah. We had lots of Datsun B210s, but Marvin's family, that's all they drove was Datsun for the longest time. And so that's kind of why, in John's eyes, he's like, it fits Marv. He's got to have it. And it fits him body wise because it's small. When John gets in it, he looks like a monkey fucking a football. So this is not good. Yeah. So Marv fits in it good. So, yeah.
No, that's the first transmission I ever put in a car, clutch and all that. And I put it in the BT2, but I didn't fill up the rear drive oil and burn it up going to Houston after spending 2 days putting that son of a bitch back together. I was so fucking mad, man. I got on the side of the road, and right to the left of me there was a building with a bunch of cars around it, and the guy pulled up behind me, and he said, "Man, I've been looking for one of them little cars because it was clean." Man, I said, "Well," I said, "it can be yours," And he pulled me over there and he looked at it and he said, "Oh, I see what it is. You didn't put this in there." And I was like, "Yeah, I feel like a dumbass now." I realized as soon as it happened that I hadn't put that real oil in it, drive oil. And he traded me a Biscayne. I think it was a '63 Biscayne that ran like a fucking top, dude. A big old body car. And he said, "Ain't much, but it'll get you anywhere you want to go." And I said, "Well, right now I'm stranded. Got probably $50 in my pocket. Gas was cheap then, by the way, folks." And I said, "Well, sure, let's do it." I said, "I happen to have the title." And we swapped titles. I got my new car. And all in less than an hour, I was gone down the road again, man, without having to work on that son of a bitch. I was so fucking relieved. Yeah. I passed that car down through nephews and nieces. I mean, it was like 3 different, one of them drove that car. And it was a tank, man, but it was cool. It was a straight, good looking thing, man. It's good looking for a Biscayne could be ever said,
Right.
But it was had a good paint job on it, and the interior was like new. Because I had my hunting truck, and my other car, you know, my fast cars. I had that B210 for some reason to save gas. Because like gas was still like only 70 cents a gallon or something like that. 80 cents a gallon. Well, I remember gas hit $1. We swore they were all commies. Commie business, the commie takeover, $1 gas. What the hell? Next thing you know, they won't let you drink in your car.
I said, I got a garage quote of $937. I asked my son to fix the problem, and it was $70 part and $30 minimum to install. Yeah, their labor is usually what costs so much.
Yeah, I watch a lot of videos on car repairs and people who flip cars, like you, Mr. Duggar.
Yeah.
And there's one guy, he'll go for cheap. He'll go online. And the last one I saw was he bought like a 2003 F-150.
I'll be right back.
And somebody just wanted it gone. They were like, $1,000, just get this thing off. And it listed, you know, the AC doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. So he went and looked at it and he was like, oh shit, I'm going to make money on this. And he took it out. It was like 7 things wrong with it, but they were all like under $100 fixes.
Yeah.
So he washed it, buffed it. He detailed the interior. He made it look pretty much brand new. And so he bought it for like $1,000, spent like maybe $1,200 on it. So like $2,200, but sold it for seven grand.
Yeah, I was thinking to say probably sold it for $7 or $8 grand. I've hit a few of them. I mean, used to you could pick up a $500 car, $1,000 car, but shit. Used cars have went up. I usually mess with Toyota and Nissan and Honda and Subaru, you know, because I got a guy who can fix all 4 of those, you know. Just I got a mechanic, you know, and I just had to take it out of the price of the car, and he'll wait for me to sell a car. I sell cars for him.
Right.
So that's a pretty good gig too, you know. I get half of whatever we sell it for. And he does all the work. He does the work on, and if he puts his money up, and so one day I bought a car from one of his customers, and a Subaru Forester, and I made like $5 grand on that son of a bitch. And I walked in, I handed him a couple grand, you know, and he said, "What's this for?" I said, "Well, I got it from your customer, and you always split with me." He said, "That's fair. That's fair." And you know, to keep a guy like that on your side. It's worth the split, you know, because it took me exactly 2 days to sell it. I had no hardly any skin in the game at all, so it's a good thing to help supplement the old Social Security.
Yeah, and when you get a great mechanic, you got to hold on to them until they or you die.
Yeah, he's that guy. He's that dream mechanic everybody always looks for that. Doesn't fix things, ain't broken, and doesn't gouge you. Talks straight to you, and if he has a problem, he'll call you up and ask you, "Hey, I'm not going to assume you won't fix this, but this needs to be done." You know, but he's such an honorable and nice guy, and when he retires, he's one of the last ones like that, I think. You know, and boy, me and him used to drink some beer together. Oh my God. Him and a couple other guys, they're friends of ours. That we worked at the same dealership and stuff, and we had a little old pub right down the road. Had a pub, and I didn't see gutters there though, but we used to get hammered at that little Irish bar. It was pretty fun too. But he's a nice guy to have in your corner. He can fix anything though.
Now, did you ever get a car that you thought you were going to make some money on, and you got it, and you were like, "Oh, this is a."
I have.
I got fucked on this one.
I have never actually lost money on my own, but I bought a T100 one time, and the guy said, "Hey, it's got some rust up underneath there a little bit." And I said, "All right." And he said, "I said, well, you're only asking $3 grand." I said, "I'll take it," because I had that 346. Hell, that engine was worth that just about. And so I bought it, you know, and I got to looking. I said, I took it over to my buddy and I put it on the lift. He said it had a little rust. And dude, this thing was about to, the engine was about to fall out of it. It had holes in the frames and shit. Like, I said, holy shit. He said he had some rust. He didn't say it was relying on chicken wire to keep the motor in the thing.
Right.
But I sold it for $100 more than I had in it.
Hey, man, there you go.
You know, so I could say I had never lost money. But the guy who bought it, he didn't give a shit. He was just going to part it out. He's going to take the rear end, the 4-wheel drive out of it, and the engine out of it, and put it in another one. But I mean, it was a clean looking truck, other than that rust underneath it. And I think he ended up just welding it out, some new steel up underneath it, which never is going to give you a good alignment. You know,
Yeah, that's one bad thing about like the Toyota Tundras. They'll last forever, but they sure do. Some of them will rust pretty bad up under there.
Andy said he drives a Hummer. Is that the old military style?
Well, it makes you wonder what they do to why they end up rusting so much quicker than, say, another rig.
That's weird with Toyota. A Tundra doesn't have that problem for some reason. You just have to keep on the Tacoma. If you buy a used one, you better get your ass up under there and check it pretty good.
Yeah, I got a couple of people I watched their videos, and one of them is Sleeper Dude. He makes hot rods out of old cars and shit, and it saves old cars from the junkyard. A lot of people would look at him and say, why would you drive that piece of junk? Well, he sees what we see as a kid. You know, the lines of the square fox bodies and stuff like that. But also,
He said he's got the little Hummer. Are you supposed to say that on here, Andy?
And Vice Grip Garage, that's a pretty good, cool dude too. Vice Grip Garage and Sleeper Dude. I like Sleeper Dude because he's got his family in it, and he's got a young boy that he probably knows more about cars than most adults. he ain't but like 13 and shit. He's a welding, and they dropping engines all the time. You know, him and his daughter, who's older. She's older. She's probably 15. She'd climb right up in the top of that car and start taking out spark plugs and undoing carburetors. She don't give a shit. And they're just a wonderful family. And if you ever watched them, you'd like them, I think. I've told a couple people about them, and they get on there and they go, "Oh hell, I can't wait to watch his show." Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, I watched this guy. He's been a mechanic for 50 years. He said, when you go to a mechanic, look over at the employee parking spaces. He goes, if you see a Volkswagen, fucking, all these shitty cars, he's like, a Dodge, leave, get in your car and leave. So every time I go to, I see a mechanic or I go to one and stuff, I'd look over at the company parking spaces and I'm like, okay, that's a Toyota, F-150, a Lexus, Honda. Okay, I like these guys. They're probably going to know what they're talking about.
Yeah, beefed up GMCs,
right?
Lifted up. Ron's got some of the cleanest old Toyotas you ever seen, dude. And he had one of them little 427 Shelby looking cars, little race cars. That thing was. I got pissed because he sold it. I said, I lived vicariously through you. You sold my car. Oh, man. I don't know. I'm thinking about just getting my headlight, throwing a couple rods in the truck and going to the lake. But there isn't no moon.
What did Elon Musk do with the moon? Moon's gone.
Blue moon, I hear you calling my name. I don't know, man. Lays and Blaze. On the, it's on the original rubber. So you mean you don't drive it?
I'm watching this video on Twitter. At the airport in Dallas today, this lady was running around naked throwing shoes at the wall.
At the wall.
That's my kind of nuts.
She's running around naked. There she is, throwing the shoes at a picture, screaming.
Can you share that, please?
I don't think we can put that. I don't think we should share that one tonight.
Probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Damn it.
I can text it to you.
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, just don't put it on Signal.
I don't have Signal.
Oh man, I can't copy in Tulsi.
She's a little skunk woman, man. She's like my brother. She's got that white streak in her hair. My brother had dark black hair, and right at the top he had a little swash of white. And girls just really love that shit because he wore it sort of like Elvis in a wave. And they always ask, "Do you dye your hair?" No, I don't dye my hair.
My cousin's wife had that, and their son also, and it's a birthmark.
Yeah, I called him Skunk Boy his whole life.
Wonder what got this lady all up and bothered.
Vladdy wants you to put it in Discord.
I'm not on Discord.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's on Twitter.
You can call this Twitter. What the hell's she doing running around naked?
Somebody's on the wrong combination of drugs, I think.
Or maybe the right ones.
Barely.
I mean, how do you know she's not happy with herself?
And you can tell the difference. It's a naked woman. 0 people, including the police, are trying to stop her. Everybody has their phone out recording her.
She ain't a bad looking old gal.
Now, if Mr. Duggar was doing that, they would have tased him within the first 5 minutes.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, you know, one time I was washing my ass in the little pool we got there at the mall. It just, I don't know where I'm at. That's all you got to say to them. You know, I'm looking forward to getting into my 70s so I can go wash my ass in the builder. And I don't know where I'm from. I told Doug he just comes here Thursday after 3 and washes his ass. I don't know, man.
So what else you got, Gutters?
What else do I have? Not a lot.
All right,
I
let's
know
look at
that.
I'm glad they wore protection.
I'm glad. I know that fools probably ain't gonna make it here before I shut this thing down, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to go no 4 hours tonight. I think I'm gonna have to work my stamina back up.
We probably killed it with all the car talk too.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care.
I don't know. Chad seems to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Everybody had a memory of. Everybody's had good cars. They've had bad cars.
My mom had a Chevy Love. That was her most favoriteest rig. Was a Chevy Love.
Little pickup.
Yep.
Oh, those little pickups were great.
Yep. It was red.
I had a Mitsubishi Mighty Max. That thing was 80 pounds. You could pick it up and throw it.
I had a Renault 12.
Marvin had the Datsun. What was funky about between the Datsun and the Nissan. Didn't they change it halfway through the year or some shit?
Yeah, turned up to Nissan.
Well, he had the one that was like basically in between that, like in between the Datsun and Nissan.
Yeah, I had one of those. The coolest one I ever had, I guess, was I had an international Jeep, like a Jeep, except it had a steering on the right hand side. And everybody was always trying to buy it. And then this guy, he had this badass 3/4 ton Ford pickup. He traded me straight up. That's the first 4x4 I ever had too. And it had a big 460 in it. You could literally watch the gas gauge move as you drove this fucking truck. But it would go anywhere. Immediately became my fish and beach truck.
The Mazda rotary engine truck.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Old wanker engine. That wanker motor. I worked for Mazda. I know all about the wankers. Yeah.
Was it like an older one? Like an older pickup?
Yeah. 80s.
Oh. I'm trying to remember.
Their little sports car had that engine in it too, a little rotary. What was it? I think it was we used to sell them. But it had a rotary engine in it. Old fart syndrome here. Memory loss, crash, all files lost. R2.
Back in the day, we didn't call them trucks. We called them pickups.
Pickup, yeah. Pickup.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember that Mazda pickup.
B2000. Yeah, same thing. Same thing as a Ford Ranger. It had the Ranger, it had the Ford engine in it.
Those Mazdas were made from those Mazda pickups were made from 1974 to 77.
Yeah, I was wrong. I was going to say 70s, maybe even. I didn't say it.
Yep, I remember them.
I was into old cars though back in, man. 49 Porsche, 37 Plymouth.
My mom had an El Camino.
Falcon. I was too mad at myself for getting rid of my little square body Bronco. Them things are worth tons now.
My mom also had a fucking Maverick. That was the biggest piece of shit car ever.
I don't know, man. We had one, we called them chickens.
Oh my God, I hated that car.
It had a 302 in it. It was a pretty badass car. What was rode before the Mazda? The Wanker. Let me guess. Was it a Porsche? Oh no, what was it, Art? I think Porsche or Volkswagen. I got one of them. Could be wrong. Spider Toyota.
Spider. Oh. What's NSU? Is that a make? NSU? Okay, now you're gonna make me look, aren't you?
Yeah, that's my only complaint with Fords is their door seals.
Yeah. Car. Skew.
That's one thing you have to be careful with the Ford and Chevy pickups is they're good trucks and everything, but they're the two number one like fleet trucks where these businesses will buy like 30 F-150s for their fleet, and 30 Chevys for, as work trucks. You just got to make sure when you go buy on a used car website, you're not buying an old work truck. They run those things into the ground. And they'll take all the shit off of it and take the toolbox and they'll make it look like it's just a regular truck. And you catch these scammers on Craigslist, especially. They'll just say, "Oh, it's just by owner." And then you find out, oh, there's like 35 ads by the same. Say, this guy owns 35 F-150s.
All right.
And he's just selling old fleet trucks,
Well, you go down to around Midland, Texas area, you'd be surprised how many big fancy trucks are driving around for them oil guys using them.
Oh yeah.
And like my nephew Dave, he drives a brand new GMC 4x4, and I'm talking about not the starting level either, leather, all the goodies. But he's kind of an important fella in his company, and but they even give the hands a truck. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they don't have to drive their own truck or buy their own gas. Plus, they making $30 an hour, $40 an hour. They making good money on that oil field, boy. A lot of hours, but you can make some dough. Do it while you're young. The Winkle, you're right. You're right, Andy. Old Winkle Motors. Remember when they brought out the twin turbo Mazda RX-2? That was a corn little bitch, man. That was a badass little car.
Mm-hmm. Lots of people stack those up, man. I've seen so many wrecks of our friends that had those cars. They thought they were untouchable.
The Winkle Motors. That's the guy that made the rotary. Oh shit. I gotta cook me some supper here pretty soon.
Supper time, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got me a little ribeye and a tater.
Tater salad.
And a salad. No, I got
what I bought? I bought today buffalo meat.
Did you get the ribs?
No, I got hamburger.
Oh, that's pretty good. You might as well buy a regular hamburger than buy bison hamburgers. Too much expensive. Just get sirloin. But them bison, big, thick bison ribs. Oh my God, dude, them things are so delicious.
Well, I've never tried bison before, so
it's a little lean. I'm telling you right off the bat, it's real lean usually. Sort of like eating sirloin hamburger.
Yeah, see, I like that in my hamburger, man. I usually don't eat it with a bun and all that shit. I just eat the hamburger. I try to stay away from all that extra carbs and shit. But if it's just a burger that I don't like the taste of, I'm going to have to cut it up. So cover it up with something bacon. That's what I'll do, Ma. I'll cook that bitch in bacon.
There you go.
Matter of fact, maybe I'll cut up bacon and cook it within it. If we say 3 times, or is it 5 times, he may show up. Traveling fools, traveling fools, traveling fools.
I do have one question. Did y'all see everybody hot and bothered today about that joke that Democrat congressman made about Greg Abbott? Calling
No.
him,
Hot Wheels, calling him Hot Wheels or whatever.
I laughed my ass off. Governor Hot Wheels. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that was
Everybody else was all hot, like wanted to resign, and like I'm like,
Oh.
poor little crippled guy.
I'm like, man, we shit talk people all the time. What are you getting all upset about it?
Exactly. You better have tougher skin than that.
I thought cracked up. I thought it was funny.
Half of them wouldn't survive on this show. They would just go MIA.
Benny Johnson was telling her to resign, and I was like, calm down, calm your tits.
Yeah, Benny gets a little overzealous sometimes, but I like the shit out of Benny with his fake ass laugh and his neurotic hair rubbing.
They're just, I like a little bit more pushback. Like, you know, I don't like the
one-sided,
the liberal news where it's just they agree 100% of it. Like it, and even you just have an honest disagreement, that group of influencers or whatever, they'll be like, "Oh, you're out of the club. You don't agree with everything the conservatives are doing. Well, you're a liberal cuck."
That's what I like about Charlie Kirk. He gets down in the trenches.
I know. I love that he gets the. I love that he goes to those kids. Like those are the ones we need to get a hold of. If you know, I mean, that's where it's going to count at. And so, because those are those kids that are, they're being brainwashed right now and groomed by these colleges. And so it's nice to see that the more he goes, the more and more kids are starting to be more patriotic and, you know, not so liberal.
Did you see that gal that was trying to steal homie's hat, eat it down? I mean, he even made Gutfield's show, man. She's reaching about him, just about had him, and he put on the jets, dude, in the air flow that he caused by leaving her, but just carried her to the ground, no planted her. I could put that on loop and just watch it. Uh-oh. My compatriot just went on rust.
Uh-oh. Shit. You know what that means.
Yeah, time to go
You're gonna have to go kick
time to
some
go blow up teenagers.
That's right.
I got landmines for a certain kid out there. I don't know if he's a kid or not. You never know, man.
I know. They're probably your age.
Yeah, and using voice changers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got one we call Jacob. Is biased. He says, "You guys will protect me. I'm gonna move right here." And I started hollering, "I get to rate him first." And then don't rate me. I said, "Okay, you got to bring us a gun apiece." It is fun, dude. It's just, I don't know. It's something I had never experienced before. Total control of a game, manipulation to build your place to live. I'm raising chickens and crops, building bombs. Building. It's a pretty fun game.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps me occupied. It keeps me from running amok with my weapons. So.
Yeah.
Well, I might go get me some big beef ribs.
Yeah. It's really hard to find beef ribs here. It's usually pork ribs.
Yeah, we got a place called Connie's that carries all the good meats, if you want a tomahawk steak or something like that.
Yeah, I should go check out.
You could get one of them for about the price of one of them ribs, but they big, thick ribs, man. And it's like having the ribeye on. They cook so good down on that bone. It's just, then having that light meat gravy. Oh.
Yeah, I need some more tallow, so I should I need to run over there anyways. I should probably do that. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow.
You make your own lard?
No, there's this these meat packing guys over here. They're it's where my son takes all of his wild game if he doesn't cut it up himself.
Yeah.
And they're really good. So I like to go over there every now and then. Usually if we do like a prime rib for Christmas or something special, then we'll go there and get it. Or if it's a special kind of meat, we'll go there and get it. I mean, it might cost you a little extra, but it's so much better meat. I mean, you can definitely tell the difference. The quality is like fucking night and day compared to like Fred Meyer's. A grocery store.
There's some good things to be said about prime rib. I've never met a prime rib that I didn't like.
Yeah, we do get prime ribs from Fred Meyer's, but they don't stack up to the ones that you get from our meat guys. They're really good. So
I've got a seafood hunger though. I'm fixing to head down south and find me some seafood. And packed up on that for about a week and come home. Go
Mark loves seafood.
Couple 100 pounds of shrimp for the freezer. I got kinfolk that fish and shrimp, and they'll give me a box of shrimp. You know,
if you come down this way, I'll take you to the Astros game.
I hear you. You know I'm coming this year. You know I am.
I'll pay for your ticket and put your ass in a hotel for a day. Let's go.
All right, let's go. What do you think? We got a double header on a Yankee game or anything? What's double header?
Oh, that'd be nice if I get a double header.
Yeah. I like to go to, 2 or 3 nights in a row, but that shit's expensive, man.
It is, man. It is.
You gotta eat before you go, for goddamn sure.
The last time I went was with Pools, and the cheapest thing I bought was the ticket. I think I walked out of there about 200. Walked out of there about 200 in the hole just from the game, not including the ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like $32 hamburgers and hot dogs.
$18 beers, and I always had a beer in my hand. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you're gonna drink. You're gonna drink about $60 worth of beer.
Yeah.
Even the farm team here that we go and see sometimes, which we haven't gone to see for a while because they were supporting the Pride thing, and I was like, okay, fuck off. We won't be going back there. But their name is Hillsboro Hops, and their shit is all really expensive. I mean, we don't get out of there under $100 by the time over $100 by the time you get done. It's like after the tickets and everything that you end up buying there. It's like Jesus.
Yeah, I'd like to go fish on Surfside jetties, maybe fish a little bit in Galveston. Go see if I can hook a couple redfish, and then maybe slide down towards Corpus Christi and Aransas Pass where I got kinfolk, and go look for some shrimp deals. And I used to haul shrimp from Texas up here to New Mexico. That's how I ended up in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
I could sell them. I had all the permits and stuff, and I used to make stupid money selling shrimp in New Mexico. It made the trip worth it. But I had an ice refrigerated truck, and man, I remember I lost my AC, my refrigerating unit, and I had about 4 boxes of shrimp left. But I had ice on them too, And so I said, "Oh, we got to go home," So we started heading that way. And we stopped. We sold on the side of the road one day, and we got rid of about 2 boxes. That left us about 2 boxes of shrimp, which is a box is 100 pounds of shrimp, by the way. And we started going down the road, and I seen this gigantic watermelon field, man. And they had them big black diamonds in it. And I pulled up there, and they were harvesting. So I pulled up in there, and I said, "Who owns this place?" And this guy said, "I own the place," because I figured he was. he was the only one standing around, you know. And I said, I got 200 pounds of shrimp. I'll trade you for a box load of them melons. And he said, show me the shrimp. And I showed them to him. They were nice ones, man. He said, well, hell yeah, get that off there. He said, y'all boys fill the truck up there. And we swept all that out, gave him all that ice we had left and swept that ice out. And he had his boys take some sacks and stuff and kind of dry it out, because if you put it in there wet, it'd spoil the melons, you know. And he throwed some hay down in there and just filled that son of a bitch up. Dude, I sold them for $5-10 a melon. You know, no, we didn't get melons. We don't get melons like that in New Mexico, you know. And big black diamonds. That's the best watermelon there is, by the way.
But I've been getting these pineapples they're smaller, but oh my gosh, they are so sweet. They're they're so good. They're a smaller, it's called a perfect gold, and man, they are so good.
Cut the top off of one and leave a little meat on it and plant it.
Well, it says to take the meat off. I've got a couple of them I'm going to try to plant. You got to let them dry out.
Oh, do you?
Yep. Researched it. So I'm going to see if I can do it. Masa, did you see where Doge found 30 million for gay farmers fund? What the hell? Do they produce better than a straight farmers? Well, no, but I'll bet those sheep are sure glad that they stopped that $30 million worth. Those poor sheep. What do you think they're doing to them?
I did also see where they, besides that, they stopped funding for 650 million to pregnancy prevention for trans boys.
Oh, Jesus. See?
Not 650 million, but $650,000. Even that's too, I mean.
$650 is too much.
It's a lot of kookiness out there.
I'm personally a fan of grilling shrimp after marinating in coconut milk and pineapple juice.
Just for a couple of minutes there, Andy. Yeah, that make them sweet. I love cooking with coconut milk, man. I love it in rice.
Give me 30 million and I'll go gay for a couple minutes. Ooh.
Wow, if I went gay for a couple minutes, I don't think I'd ever smile again.
You say that till you've been violated, and you'd probably be handing the 30 million back, asking them to stop.
Oh, if they ever touch me, it's my money.
Remember, it's the butt, Andy. It's the butt. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. How else do you look at it? When I hear somebody say gay, that's all I can think is, what else would you do? It's either that or... Okay, shh.
You're taking your show in depths of water you don't need to be treading in. Ben's not here.
So I would be the butt of the joke.
You sure would.
Oh, that's pretty good, Andy.
And that is right. Shall we? How the hell did we get there anyway?
I don't know.
I know. The show is titled about politics. We talked about cars and gay butt stuff.
And shrimp.
Let's get back on the smashing Democrats, man. I don't
Buffalo bison burgers.
Okay, let's get back on. Yeah, Buffalo bison burgers.
You know, Cash Patel, he got him a little.
Is he gay?
Bangino helping him now, so I think, you know, he's serious. He knows where some of the bodies are buried too. Dan Bongino and that. I'm surprised I think he turned down Secret Service, head of the Secret Service.
Who, Bongino did?
Yeah. He wanted to prosecute people. He he's tired of the shit.
To be in the thick of things.
Yeah, he's a little bulldog too. So, but I think
Oh,
they better be scared of Cash because he's smart.
oh, Andy. Ooh.
What did Andy say?
Andy said, gay bar pickup line, can I push your stool in for you?
Oh.
Hey, Andy,
And
we
on
have
that-
a chart.
And on that note,
No, don't go, LW.
I'm gonna go get some Tums.
Why is you belly hurt? That was so wrong. Sorry.
You go ahead and take that shite went from shrimp to butt down.
Sorry. I'll leave. I've done enough damage here. Don't you dare go away, Andy. I was gonna look. Got me all sidetracked here.
I'm surprised
Come on, Andy.
I didn't show up.
You can't fuck things up and then leave. That's rude.
Right.
You got to ride it out to the bitter end now.
Exactly. Ride the wave, man. It's not that bad. I mean, we've done worse, Andy. You know what? Barf bags, bring back barf bags.
I've been on a couple shows, you know, been on panels with some people, you know. It hurts my head to be on their show, dude. But they're my friends, and some of it's funny, and that's all right. I'm there for a laugh, man. I'm not there to hate drama. I hate it.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I don't want to deal with it, so I just don't. As soon as I see it, it's just so much easier. The problem is I'm really bad about
being nosy.
Once you do it, well, no, once you do it, once the drama comes in, then it's like I just want to cut it off, and then I never go back to it. So, you know, sometimes I miss out on some funny shit and some good stuff because I just cut the whole thing off because I didn't want to deal with the drama part. So that can kind of, you know, it can be a double-edged sword there but I just rather not deal with the fucking drama.
Well, in my experience, if you hang around shows that do drama, it might not be about you for a while, but at some point, somewhere down the line, you'll find your way into the drama.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to give everybody else a rest and pick on you that night.
Yep. You will get your turn.
You will get your turn entrenched in the bullshit.
Yep.
So I just stay the fuck away.
That's why you got buttons and you can push them and they just go away.
Yep, exactly. You just don't go back.
I always say this, and I don't think anybody ever listens. I say, you have the power. You know, I would zot somebody so fast, dude.
Well, I try not to be super censored. You know, I try not to make it super censored. But, I mean, if you just come in and are literally causing drama, then yeah, I got no problem with just saying you're done. You're done. I'm not going to deal with it. I mean, I've done it before. People have seen me do it before, but I try to keep that out of, you know, only for extreme cases. And that's pretty much what I keep it as. But I'm telling you what, fuck up, see where I get you. Because and once I'm cut off, once you're cut off, that's it. There is no, you ain't growing back. You ain't coming back. I'm done. I'm fucking done. And that's just the way it is. So I just don't like to go there. And if people realize that, I think they tend to not bring it.
I love trolling. Gutters is my favorite.
Well, that's different trolling.
I had that motherfucker so fired up when LWG about ready to start cussing me. I ain't shitting you.
What happened?
Getting you ain't never spun old Gutters out?
Yeah, he does it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I had her so spun out one night, she was stuttering. You know, to get her point in, she started stuttering to get her point in.
Oh, God, I was fucking... Yeah, you get me going. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and I told her, gotcha. She goes, you son of a bitch.
You fucker.
Fucking old Bulls was rolling. I was rolling, you know, and it was 10 times worse than the mice thing. You know what I'm saying? It was fucking.
Yeah, you fuckers.
She wasn't.
Drama's what keeps you coming back.
She
Pete
had
Ditches.
dug her heels in, and she wouldn't be pulled out of that hole, boy.
Andy, oh, is Andy leaving? Caitlin said good night, Andy. Are you leaving, Caitlin? Pete Digits says drama is why he keeps coming back. I don't think so. And Ma said it can be fun to troll. TF is king of it. Yes, he is. And you won't know when he's necessarily trolling you.
He
Trust
has no feelings. He loves what do they call that shit? Hazardous shit. What do they call it?
I think he has feelings. I think when he sets out to do something, he does it 150%. And if that means trolling you, that so be it.
Yeah, he likes mayhem, but you can always get him back by just rattling some papers.
LW likes to fucking troll too. He just acts like he's not trolling, but really, he's trolling.
Hey,
I don't troll.
He don't troll.
I just say things that pop into my head that I think are funny. And sometimes they're not funny to everybody, but they're funny to me. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but I don't really care.
But that's the important part, is that they're funny to you. That's why you say them in the first spot.
Sometimes people laugh, sometimes people don't, but it popped into my head and I said it. So what?
Yeah, right.
Trump
Andy
is a troll.
Andy said he's not a troll. He's a gnome.
Which is a higher form of troll, people.
Well, and Andy, if you've seen his avatar, it's a troll. It's a gnome. And Art said, I don't troll either. I never found much use in it. Oh, it's fun to get everybody going. Is he like stir them up in a funny way, but in a funny way. The ones that come, like trolling, being pricks or whatever, that's completely different. But when you come just to be funny, oh, it can be super funny, and it can get the chat woken up, and they kind of, because it can get dull.
Yeah, Trump is the king of trolls.
Right.
I'm telling you, he is.
Trump is.
Yeah, he's the absolute best.
Did you hear what Joe Rogan said on his podcast the other day? He was doing a fight. They were watching. People think all he does is politics, but politics is probably the least amount of things.
He does comedian and does UFC shit.
But he had 3 guests on there watching the UFC fights together. And somebody asked him if he was going to announce, because he only does like the big pay-per-view for UFC, the announcing. So they asked him if he was going to the one in Canada. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that one. I don't go to Canada no more. He said, I'd rather go to Russia. But he said that, I guess he talks to Trump now regularly, but he said he asked Trump about the Canada being the 51st state. He said Trump told him, he was like, Joe, I was just joking about calling him governor, Trudeau governor. I just thought it was funny, but then everybody started telling me that's a good idea. He's like, so I went with it. That's what I tried to tell everybody when he started calling him governor. It was just a troll. It was just a joke.
Governor Trudeau.
And I think now he does it just to piss off the media.
Oh, he does. He does. And the liberals. It is all about. He loves to. Come on. Can you imagine having to do the serious jobs he has to do as often? He only gets like 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day. And so he's up working on that shit 24/7 damn near. And so, if that's what you kind of have a little bit of fun by trolling people, fuck, I think it's great. And he does it every day. Every day.
They did come to a deal on the precious metals in Greenland.
Oh.
So that's going to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny how many things that were conspiracies that are now truths. They knew that shit was going on. They just couldn't prove it. But now they can prove it. And that's one of the reasons Doge is in everybody's sites and Elon's in their sites. Well, you're gonna blow up his shit and blow up his dealerships and stuff. And you think that's gonna make him go away? No, that make him dig his heels in more and want to bust more. Right now, but these little offset federal judges, lib judges, trying to take Trump's power away from the executive branch, which is ridiculous. They're two separate identities, and no one, he's just doing his job. Trump is. He has a fiduciary duty to do this, and he chose Elon, and that's he made an executive decision to hire him. He's not somebody that's elected. He doesn't get to make decisions on the final outcome. All he does is investigate and report. And they're scared of that. But why are you so scared? You know, that's why they're fighting them to get into Social Security. That's going to be billions there. And billions.
The only thing I have with that, as long as they just cut out the fraud, because not Trump, because he said he doesn't want to touch Social Security, but
he's not going to touch.
There are a lot of Republicans, Rhino Republic, like that want to get away with Social Security, and I think that would be stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't think Elon's suggesting that either.
Well, as long as they don't, I'll be good with it. But I've realized on Twitter too, I see people talk about Social Security. A lot of people don't know how Social Security works. That's what's frightening about it. All the people saying, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
The government borrows out of it all the time, but they repay it back every year with interest, by the way.
Your employer matches the 6% that you pay. So your employer is paying half of your Social Security.
Unless you're self-employed, right?
Right, but most people aren't self-employed. And then the people who say, well, you just keep that money, you just invest it yourself. Okay, well, what if 2008 happens and right, and you're turning 65 and you flip on your investment there for your retirement, you have $0. And it's stuff you can't control. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, I'm sure glad I have Social Security.
Yeah, and most older people are, I mean, they couldn't do it without it. They'd have to work until they fucking died if they didn't have the Social Security that, mind you, they weren't given the choice of, hey, you don't have to pay it if you don't want to. It means you don't get Social Security at the end. They weren't given that choice. You had to work and you had to pay it in. That's all there was to it. So, yes, you are entitled to it. That's all there is to it.
I mean, for almost 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And statistically, Sean, if there was no Social Security right today in 2025, March 25th or whatever it is, 2/3 of elderly people on retirement would be homeless. Like it stops people from being homeless when they're old.
There is one thing that I'm really digging that the subject is coming up about home taxes, property taxes for people who've been at the same place for 40 years. Now they're ready to retire. They bought and paid for that place, but they're still being charged taxes on it. And they got no skin in the game when it comes to schools and stuff because they're empty nesters. There's got to be a time where you shouldn't have to keep paying taxes on a place like that you live. After is your old life, but I'm totally behind that. I don't own any property at this moment, which is a first in my whole life. I've always had a couple properties, but I moved in with Barb. I mean, it was rent free, big house, and I could use the money for other things. So I liquidated it, and we had a real comfortable life. Me and my wife, because I was making a lot of money selling cars, and then I liquidated a bunch of stuff, and we lived real well. We didn't have to borrow money or ask somebody to buy us a bill of groceries or nothing like that, you know. So we had to worry about the basics, the electricity, the gas, the water, which we had a well, but they were steadily trying to force us to put in plumbing from the city, and you know, because they annexed, you know, the city annexed more property so they could get city taxes. Fuck you, dude. I lived out in the country and y'all grew out to me. It ain't my responsibility to pay your taxes or pay for shit in your city when I wasn't in your city. You know, other than, you know, I paid taxes in your city every time I bought groceries, ate at restaurants, bought clothes and whatever, you know, gas, whatever. Think how many times your dollar is taxed. You know, they tax you when they give it to you. Everything you buy has a tax on it. You know, and then they re-tax you at the end of the year.
And I do kind of have a liberal view of Social Security, withholdments from income is rich people pay a lower percentage than everybody else because they have a cap on it.
Mm-hmm.
So once it gets to that cap,
Yep.
rich people don't have to pay anymore. So when you work that out, the lower income people are paying a higher percentage than the rich. So they get a better deal. If they paid the full percentage that we pay, there'd be a lot more money in Social Security. But they actually pay a less percentage.
Well, a lot of that is write-offs. You know, they have more things to write off, and a lot of the wealthy business people, remember, they're creating jobs.
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with the Social Security cap.
No, that's
They're
true.
write-offs.
Yeah. I didn't know you were talking about Social. I thought you were talking about income tax.
Oh no, just the Social Security. There's a cap on it. So
yeah.
So somebody making $10 million a year pays less of a percentage than a person who makes $400,000 a year.
Yeah, that just makes sense.
But to the person paying a high percentage of $400,000, why does he have to pay a higher percentage of the person making $10 million?
Because he's not making the money that rich guy is. He didn't, you know, because there's a cap. There is no cap for poor because you never reach the cap. You follow me?
No,
So,
I guess
they're making less.
Agree to disagree on that one.
Oh no, I'm just saying they're making less money, so their percentage of their the money they're paying, everybody pays the same if you're rich or poor. It's just that the poor, their less percentages, they figured less percentage of their overall value that they're bringing in and going out to Social Security is less because there is a cap, because they make more than people in lower money levels. It seems like more because it is more, because it takes more of the money from the poorer people of the percentage of what they earn to sell the Social Security, give to Social Security, because they don't start off with that much money anyway. So, you know, the percentages are they're not getting, you know, they just have less money. That's why the percentage seems higher. The rich people are paying the same thing, but, you know, they're making $10 million. It changes in income tax. That is what the difference is. You know, with rich people, dude, you don't need $20 million fucking dollars a year. What do you do? How expensive is your life if you need $20 million a year? All these rich people could make everybody rich just by sharing.
Well, I don't agree with that at all. I'm more of a capitalist than that. I think if you're worth what you make, you deserve it. You know, it's not anybody else's fault.
Yeah.
I just want, if I have to pay 17% of my income, you have to pay 17% of your income to. So I'm just making up a number here for Social Security, but if I have to pay I want you to pay the same percentage and not get capped out and pay half the percentage of my paycheck that you do just because you have money.
Oh, you just want to get rid of that cap for the rich.
I just want to get rid of the cap. I want a billionaire. A billionaire will pay less of a percentage of Social Security than you will because they get capped out.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. You never reached the cap and that's why your percentage is higher. You just don't have the money to get to that cap where it stops. And it just eats more into the smaller paycheck than it does the big paycheck. You know.
I think the cap, if I'm not mistaken, is for Social Security is 6.5%. If I'm not mistaken, I have to look that up.
I'm reading regarding should the rich pay more into the Social Security system?
Oh, no socialism for me either.
No, yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. It says Social Security deductions are only taken from the income of up to $160,000. However, Social Security payments are based on all income earned. So the very rich pay in a very small percentage of their income, but can end up getting really big Social Security checks. How is this fair? And why is it? But here's the deal. You can only, they say that in this, but I know they can only get, the highest is like, if you wait until you're 70 to retire, the highest you can get is $5,108 a month. That's the highest.
Yeah, but let's say, okay, Elon Musk, he's probably not going to be sitting around waiting for his Social Security check every month, right?
No, but they're still, they can get, I mean, a lot of people, you know, they actually saved money and put away, they lived like fucking peasants, so they had money put away in their 401k. And so they won't necessarily go, oh, the first thing I'm going to do is draw off Social Security. A lot of people will say, I'll take some of my 401k first. So, because they'll let that get to the highest amount, depending on if it would actually pay off for them to do that. Now, we have a friend who just discovered that if he was to do that to equal out, if he started his Social Security right now at 65 versus waiting until he was 70, if he waits till he's 70, he'd have to be 94 before he would get the money back out of what he would get if he was, what did he say, from 67 to 82, I think he said. So it would be, or 87. So it would behoove him to just not wait. It would be better if he just took it at 65 and not wait till he was 70. But for some people, it may not work out that way, depending on where their Social Security is, how long they plan, not everybody plans to live, but how, where they live and what that whole thing. So for some people, it might be different. This guy also lives in Alaska, which makes it a little different than I believe for the rest of us here, like how much they can take. But like if you wait till full retirement age, which is, if you wait till you're 62 at retirement age, your maximum benefit would be $28,000 or $2,831. If you full retirement age, if you are reach full retirement age in 2025, the maximum is $4,018. If you wait till you're age 70 and start collecting, the maximum would be the $5,108. So I'm assuming full retirement, I believe, is 67 now, or 65. 65, I think.
I took my retirement at 62, but I got full benefits because I was disabled.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, pays for my house, my food, everything I got. So,
Mhm.
and
Well, disability is completely different than Social Security. It
yeah, but
falls
once I come off disability, they took me to Social Security.
right.
It took me 4 years to get my disability, even though I could prove by the first year. You know what I mean? But I got a big fat check, when they finally did, and then I got money each month until they kicked in my Social Security at 62.
Mm-hmm.
I get full benefits.
Right. And that's the whole thing about the middle class, because there's unfortunate truths about the world and how it works. The world needs ditch diggers.
That's right.
The world needs people who work at the grocery store. They need people to drive the forklifts, and not everybody can be a millionaire. And there is no such thing as, well, you just got to pull your bootstraps up and start your own bank.
Yeah.
The world doesn't work that way. But so there has to be not socialist stuff, but there has to be some, safety net for the middle class. And that's what our problem is the last 30, 40 years is the middle class gets fucked. They ship your jobs away, and then they're mad why you're bitching about others. The price.
Exactly.
They ship your jobs away, and then they get mad at you for complaining why the prices keep getting higher. Well, I thought you shipped them away and made us work. Made people in Alabama go and Mississippi go work at Walmart because you shipped the factory jobs away. But you told us that was going to make everything cheaper, but it didn't. It made everything more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have a shittier job and shit's more expensive.
Yeah, I went to bed with a little over $800 in my bank account. I woke up with $66,000 the next morning. That was pretty fun. But it got me caught up. That's when I got settled my disability.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, but I got over 3 years of disability back pay. But you gotta pay attention on that, every little detail. If you're disabled, do everything in order the way you're supposed to. See your doctors, get certified. When you're hurt, your doctor knows you're hurt. You just got to jump through the hoops, even though you can't jump anymore. It will finally come back to you. At least it did for me. But it saved our bacon. I was in the 4th year. I was starting to have to sell a boat, sell my side by side, my extra truck. That just to keep afloat and live the life that we were used to instead of having to, count pennies. And then he said, "Hang in there, you'll get your shit." Well, sure enough, it did.
It took my mom forever, and she was in pretty rough shape. I mean, her knees were just gone, and they from working on cement all those years, and it took forever for her to get it. She finally got it, but man, it was like 3 years, 4 years.
What helped me is I worked for a very good family-owned business. They actually paid for when I went down, because when I went down at the job. They paid my insurance the whole time I was on disability.
Oh yeah, some of those family businesses, man. Those are the things.
If I'd have worked for Dow Chemical or something like that, they'd have booted me out the door a long time ago. They'd have cut me loose so quick. But since I had a guy that when he says you go to work here, your family, he meant it. And I still stop by there every once in a while and just shoot the shit with the owner and his son, who me and him are really good pals. We've been duck hunting a couple times together. And But I don't know, man. I didn't even put in for no hunts this year. I'm ashamed of myself. No elk, no deer. I might have to go live off roadkill, I guess.
Oh boy, Sean, he's got paving season to get through. So all of his, he already did put in for, I think he put in for an Idaho, something up there on, of course, my in-laws' place. So he'll go hunt up there. And then I'm not sure. There's certain ones like drawings, like there's the Roosevelt elk or some shit.
Yeah.
He's been trying for that one, which it takes forever. And so, but every year he holds his breath, just hoping he's going to get in there.
He's got a really good shot at getting an elk, a Rocky Mountain elk up in New Mexico. He puts in because we put out they give probably more away to outside people than they do for state. It was 5 years since I got my last bull tag. I've killed my share of elk. I've killed probably 5 elk in my lifetime, and I've killed a shitload of mule deer. I got a place where I hunt that they're pretty much grain-fed deer. You know what I mean? But it's hard to get that because it's everybody wants to get their tag drawn from there instead of off the sagebrush, which them deer ain't hardly worth eating.
Yeah.
A young one, And I really thoroughly enjoy venison. But I got a buddy who owns. The reason I didn't put in because I got a buddy in Texas who's got a big ranch that has all kinds of different animals down in South Texas. Hell, he's got black buck, oryx, elk, monster whitetails, and a lot of axis deer. And he wants me to come help thin out some of the axis deer. And he said, "I'll let you shoot for 5 of them." I said, "Hell yeah." That's the best eating venison there is axis deer, I feel. That's a tasty little critter.
Yeah, I like whitetail from Idaho. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Compared to the blacktail here, it's night and day.
Yeah. Well, hell, let me go fix me something to eat there, Gutters.
You better go eat.
I'm
Get the old man filled up.
I ain't ate in 3 or 4 days. It seems like my throat thinks my belly thinks my throat's been cut. So I better go get it. If I come back up later and you're still on, I'll jump back on.
All right, we'll be here. Well, we might be here. Who knows? Mr. Duggar was done. He'd had enough. And I think Lil W is out peeing off the porch. Because, that's his thing. And what else do I know?
Man, I go to pee and Mr. Duggar leaves. Where'd he go?
I told you. He said he's going to make himself something to eat.
He's going to play Rust for 3.5 hours.
Of course he is.
He's got a base to build.
That's right. He's got revenge somewhere.
How come nobody else came up? Did everybody forget about you? You took a week off. Everybody was like,
I guess everybody just forgot.
Let's unsubscribe. She's dead.
Yep, she died.
She's
Only
dead
one
now.
unsubscribed. I don't know who that was, or maybe it was just YouTube fucking with me again. But only one unsubscribed. So I thought I did pretty good for that part of it. But Jesus, when I first got up here, I didn't think anybody. There was only like 10 watching. I'm like, for quite a while. And usually it doesn't take that long to get a few in here. And then I'll play the video after I say hey to everybody. But it took a while. But it was fine. I mean, we've been on, 3.5 hours? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We gave it a whirl. Yep.
You want to call it? Let's call it.
Let's call it. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great evening. Thank you for all hanging out with me. And, you'll see me in the YouTube streets or Friday. Yeah. How about you, LW? What do you got planned?
Oh, I don't know. We'll see how the week goes. I might even go live in 30 minutes. I don't know. If I'm bored.
Okay, if you do, let me know.
All right.
Because
I don't know.
I'll finish up all my other shit that I need to get done and get back on here.
I don't know. I
If you do.
can't. Can you drop my link just in case I go
Yeah.
live?
Let me do it right now. LW.
I should be able to do it. Let's see.
No, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Right there. See, like you're the first one on my suggestion list. You know that? You're the first, like, you know how people can go there and. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
y'all, if
That's
you're
so
not
just
subbed
here.
up to LW, here he is. Sub up to him. And if he goes live, then you'll know. Make sure you hit the bell so that it'll notify you that he's going live. And then you can get him to 150.
Well,
He's
we're at
so
100 and we're at 103 right now, so we're on the road to 110. I don't want to put the
Oh.
expectations up there to 150.
too high. Okay, well,
Let's keep it at 110.
Andy just subbed, and P Digits said 30 minutes. Does it take you that long? Like you can't touch it for 30 minutes and then you can come back? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Sorry.
something like that. I got to wait for the medicine to kick in. Usually takes about 15. Bluetooth.com.
That's right. Hey, yeah, so we're just getting ready to leave, but LW may go live in about a half hour. So
It's like a bad lawnmower. Sometimes you got to give it a minute.
that's right. You know, you gotta just give him a minute, and he'll see when he can touch the tip of it. That's like the.
All right, I'm out of here. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming, or at least smiling a lot. All right, you guys. Thank y'all so much for coming and hanging out with me and being bored. I'm sure you're just as bored as I was, but I mean, I had fun, but y'all might have been bored. I have fun talking about all this shit that I used to hate talking about cars, but now I love talking about cars and all the things that makes me think of me when I was, 17. But yes, go check out LW. I will post his link one more time right here in case y'all missed it. Make sure you go sub up and hit his bell. Ring his bell. And then you guys will get notified if he decides to go live. And if he does, I'll probably hop over there. I do have some shit to get done, but I'll hop over there if he goes live. So yeah, thanks so much for being here. Love y'all so much. And I will see you in the YouTube streets, or like I said, Friday. Bye.
News bullshit. Step right up, got tickets on sale. In today's episode, trains coming off the rails. Watch it all burn from the screen on your phone. But don't you worry about it, you're safe at home. Every talking head will tell you everything's fine. It's the blind leading the blind. Yeah, it's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that is the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong. If the world's still spinning, the shit show goes on. Well, the world's strongest man just dropped the ball, and the tent's caving in from the weight of it all. Yeah, the lion's out the cage, puppets in a rage, and the ringleader's on parade. It's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that is the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong. If the world's still spinning, the shit show goes on.
Come on! Witness the greatest show on earth! Enjoy the flames!
It's a circus out here, we're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that is the truth. Get your popcorn ready and pour you something strong.